We are live. Hello, welcome to the Pajama Cast. I'm Jesse Pajamas. I got True Blue Fuse, Pixie Dust, and our guest, Alex Hedgefox. Hi.
Howdy.
Hey, yo.
Today we're taking a look at the fabled Sega mandates. This will be fun, huh? I don't know anything about these Sega mandates. I've heard about them, I've heard people talk about them. But, I never really looked up what they were. So I found this page here on sonicfandom.com. And, we're gonna take a look at them. We got the mandates. Here we are, mandates, and we got a little bit of a backstory before with some Pender stuff. So I guess the mandates are related to Pender somehow? I don't know. Are they? I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah. Though, Jesse, you might want to share your screen on this.
Share my screen?
Well, I'm just looking at the website on my.
Yeah, we're just gonna read it from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I meant the video that's on the page.
Oh yeah. Also, I'm gonna be the sort of fact checker here.
The video that's on, no, that's not part of the.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. That's just an ad. Never mind. Forget what I said.
So we got Alex Hedgefox here because he's like the Pender's expert. He's gonna know all the times that something is wrong, or he's gonna be able to elaborate on something if I don't know what they're talking about. So we got Alex because he knows his stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Get a lot of shit for it too.
Alex,
hey, whatever,
what are you known for? What do you do? What's your thing? You know, what do you?
All right. So I'm Alex Hedgefox. I also go by Nintendo. I am an amateur voice actor working on a webcomic, Sonic the Hedgehog Missing Links. And most recently, I am the founder / co-creator of the Rally for Sally campaign.
Rally for Sally.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a little bit about that, but we'll get into what that's all about a little bit later.
Yeah,
possibly.
we can talk about that probably later towards the end, or whenever, your call.
I'm sure that might actually play a little bit into this, because isn't there? I mean, this is all about. So apparently I know a little bit about the Ken Pender's lawsuits, but before I kind of get into what I know, let's actually read the introduction to this page here. I'll read it right here, starting at between. We have. Let me zoom in for the stream so that the text isn't like ridiculously small. Oh, that's better. Oh, wait, yeah, that's good. Between January 2009 and October 2015, the comic writer Ken Penders created or directed a number of lawsuits and legal cases against Sega and Archie Comics Publishing. Already, I feel like I don't know if that's kind of is that. What's up with that? What's up with that?
That's not correct. I feel like they will probably disclose this more later on, but no, Penders did not sue Sega and Archie. Archie sued Penders countersued, and Sega actually wanted zero involvement in the lawsuit.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the dominant narrative in the Sonic fandom right now is that Ken Penders is some guy. And I'm not saying this is what I think. I'm saying this is what I hear.
This is the narrative.
The narrative is Ken Penders is some Sonic writer that wrote for the comics, and at one point he's like, I want my characters back. I'm suing you. So he sued them, and he got the characters back. That's kind of the gist of what I hear all the time. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like that's what they're saying here.
And that's not true.
So, I guess we'll get more into that, because it looks like they're going to go more in depth in the lawsuits. Mm-hmm. But it says, related to the rights of his characters in Sonic the Hedgehog comic series, a number of lawsuits resulted in the creation of a reformed timeline in the comics and the removal of a number of characters created and used by Penders. I feel like that's also a loaded statement. Is that true?
Yeah, because, this is sort of me like half guessing, going based on facts. The lawsuit did not cause the reboot. or the reformed timeline.
I hear that all the
as we
time,
call
though.
it.
I hear people say that all the time, like, "Oh, they had to reboot because Ken Penders." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no, because like Penders wasn't asking for a lot, and again, we'll probably go into this more as we go. All he was asking for was payment for his work and to be credited in the little like copyright blurb that you see at like the bottom pages sometimes, where it's like, you know, Sonic Team, Archie Comics, all that. That's not a lot, is it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Crediting true in my description is too much for even me sometimes, but
Yeah, you never credit me either.
yeah, exactly. You know,
I
I've only
mean,
got
it's
so
'cause,
much.
like-
You have to understand. There's only so much room in my description box,
God
Damn it, Jesse.
and I have to have that shit was bananas or whatever the fuck it says every
that's
time.
your catchphrase or whatever.
Yeah, that I
Yeah.
stole from Moogie Mikey.
But like they did not need to reboot it. That is a lie. The lawsuit did not cause the reboot. What caused the reboot was Archie's ineptitude and overall greed.
Well, I want to. It looks so. That's the introduction there. I feel like already we're seeing kind of a biased narrative in just the telling of these events. I'm wondering if that's going to carry through with this whole page, and I'd love to see that. I'm really interested in seeing how these mandates are somehow going to be Ken Pender's fault. I'm sure that they're going to go into that, right? So I guess we'll find out.
I'd also be interested to like see if we could like you say it's not true, but I'm curious where the source of either side is like getting their information.
Same
Well, I
here.
mean, my source is literally the U.S. copyright, or not the U.S. copyright. It's the actual like legal documents online, because they do exist online. They're not hard to find.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it's not.
The actual docket court case of all the papers and stuff. It's there, but a lot of them are locked behind a paywall. So there are things that even I don't know about. So
Fair enough.
All right, so the lawsuits. I think I know a little bit about the lawsuits. From what I think I know is that Archie sued Penders for the copyrights of his characters, and then he countersued. And then I think down the road he sued BioWare or Sega and BioWare for the Dark Legion or something.
yeah,
That's
but
all I know.
We'll get more into the whole BioWare Chronicles stuff as we go along.
Oh, well, yeah, it's all here anyway. So, all right, I'll begin.
Right.
The U.S. Copyright Office, a series of lawsuits by Ken Penders, filed against Sega, ACP, Archie, related subsidiary companies, and vice versa, began with the first case on 1 January 2009. During this time, copyright was lodged to the U.S. Copyright Office by Penders on various stories, characters. I did hear about that. Yeah, so
Yeah,
he went and copyrighted.
It wasn't just his characters. It was literally all of his work. So that'd be stories, characters, concept art, the whole freaking shebang.
Right, everything that he contributed that wasn't like sourced from the games.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Universe, but I feel like the way this is worded, where it says a series of lawsuits by Penders filed against Sega ACP.
Yeah, again, they're still going with that narrative of Pender shot first, when again, that's not true.
But this line here, where they say he copyright lodged to the U.S. Copyright Office by Penders on various stories, characters, that did happen.
Yeah,
But did that happen first?
Yeah, that happened first. That's not the lawsuit that eventually led into the lawsuit, but that wasn't part of the lawsuit.
I feel like this sentence is too early.
Is that what they're assuming? Is because he started filing copyrights, that's equivalent to him shooting first? I don't know. That feels kind of suspect.
Yeah. I feel like that sentence is just too early or something. What's up, Pixie?
Very.
Well, personally, I think that this is just my own personal thing. Like, what? Do you
Well, spit it out.
Do you have to own something that you've made from like, you know, like Like, for example, does, like, the art director of, like, fucking Sonic Forces, like, copyright claim, like, everything?
Funny thing you ask.
Sonic Forces?
The art director of Sonic Forces didn't really copy.
So I think I have a good answer on this. I think I have a good answer because I do remember researching this. Turns out it's actually the industry standard for most comic publishing companies to pay royalties to people even after they quit or got fired or whatever, if they're doing reprints or whatever the case may be.
I want to cut you off right there. I can confirm Penders was not fired. He left.
Okay. Well, but it's the industry standard for people to be compensated even years after they're parting with the company, that they get paid the royalties for any reprints. Or imagine like having a hit song in like the 90s and then like, 20 years later Flo Rida makes like a remix or uses like a bit from it, and then that blows up. It's like, hey, well, wait a minute, I wrote the original song though. Like, can I get like a piece of that pie?
Yeah,
that's kind of fair,
money?
right? What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I mean, is that wrong, Pixie? To kind of feel like you owe or you're owed like a little bit like compensation for the work you did?
The thing is, I think this falls into my views on fair use. At least your specific example, Jesse. I feel like, they're even though credit should go to the original artist, like, they're not the one who remixed the song.
Well, here's the other thing too.
The arrangement you have with the artist.
Well, hold on real quick, because the other thing.
The other what?
And here's the other thing. I'm trying to keep to the comics and Penders specifically, but the thing is, like, technically you would be correct if Penders had signed documents giving the creative rights to Archie, because Penders never signed something called a work for hire contract. Oh, by the way, I'm not a legal expert, nor do I claim to be, so again, some of the things I say could be false.
You gotta get out of the stream now. Sorry.
I'm just telling you how it is, how I have perceived it. So, typically because like Penders would be considered a freelancer, he would have signed a work for hire document that would give Sega the rights to anything he created.
Okay.
Now, according to Penders, he never signed such a document, meaning Archie and Sega don't own crap. And technically speaking, until Penders claimed ownership, nobody did. They were technically public domain, more or less. So the thing is there, and we'll be getting back to this when we continue reading, is Penders, was because like he saw that his stuff was getting reprinted and he wasn't seeing a dime for it.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, so technically nobody owns these characters. So if I claim ownership of these creations, then they legally have to pay me for the reprints because I own the material that they're reprinting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't think it was him like trying to like be like, oh, no one can fucking use my characters ever again. They're my characters.
The thing that I was confused about is, like, wasn't he working for Archie Comics? Because what my example is like, people are hired to make games, to do all this stuff. I didn't realize that he was a freelancer.
A lot of people like to use that sort of example as like, oh, under the company, he made these characters, Sega owns them. And it's like, I mean, that is a sound case, but that's not how copyright law works. If Penders did not sign a work for hire document, Sega and Archie do not own his creations.
Also, bear in mind that like we're talking about Archie. Like Archie isn't. I mean, yeah, they make comics, but they're not like a huge organization like Sega, where they're gonna have like sophisticated documents and contracts and stuff. Like, from what it sounds like, not from this, but from what I've heard, Archie were kind of cheapskates. So I have no surprise that they would kind of cheap out on like certain like documents and stuff that would be kind of industry standard. And then they would end up in a situation like this where, now we have all these public domain characters that anyone could have copyrighted. But Penders copyrighted them because he made them, so... I mean, would you rather have, like, Joe Blow walk in and copyright them? I guess that's possible. That could have happened.
It could have. But the other thing on top of that as well, this is not the first time Archie has had a case. Because, like, there was a similar case regarding the creator of Josie and the Pussycats, I believe is what they're called. And he wasn't being paid for his work either. And Josie and the Pussycats are, like, a pretty big, like... Outside of, like, licensed characters, Josie and the Pussycats are one of, like, the bigger Archie characters outside of, Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead.
Are they?
I mean, at the time they were, but definitely not nowadays. And then the other thing, too, is there was also another case regarding the person who made the modern-day Archie art style. Like, the art, like, when we think of Archie, that, like, cartoony art style, the man who made that had a very similar case regarding, reprints and royalties, I believe. So this is not the first time Archie has had a case like this. It's just this is the one that's the most talked about because Sonic fans are kind of stick like that.
So I'm gonna actually just question someone in the chat here. Mega Geek 6807 says that Ken Penders did sign a work for hire document. I'm curious if
I've seen people claim that, but there is no that. The closest thing.
No, you guys don't understand. Mega Geek was there. He was in the room.
Yeah, he was there.
He's the eyewitness.
Here's the thing. I've had people give me
I don't know if they're wrong or right.
I had someone come to me. It's like, oh, hey, prove that Penders said that Sega owns these characters. And I looked at the word. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can grab it. Probably. I don't know if this is super important. But this is a screenshot from an old Sonic fan site that Penders used to interact on.
Oh no.
So if I can find it, you can probably put it on screen, Jesse. Oh wait,
there's another thing in the chat that I want to address before we read the next section because we got to get reading too.
Okay,
Is someone said doesn't Sega own the character designs of anything that looks like a Sonic character? No, and how would you ever even own that?
That's not how copyright law works.
How could you? Because you could claim that Sonic looks like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I mean, if they look too similar to a character, then they have some leeway legally. But
so this is
a lot of the time. They just don't look too much like it. All
right. So I sent the thing in the chat. So Jesse, if you could put it quick. People have sent me this as a gotcha. Is Penders, says Sega does own the characters. So the thing here says, part of the contract that Sega has with Archie stipulates that any and all characters created in the Sonic and Knuckles comic books become property of Sega. But here's the thing, we don't need to read the rest of it, but this is the important thing. Part of the contract that Sega has with Archie. There's nothing about Penders here. So this is Penders going on an assumption where it's oh, I guess this is how this works. But, as he found out later down the line, it's not how that works. Because even he was assuming oh, Sega will probably use him one day.
I honestly feel like a lot of this is because Archie was really bad at organization and keeping keeping track of all their documents and paperwork. But
lots of people like to say that Penders another thing I keep hearing from people is oh, Penders work for hire document was lost in an office fire, and I'm just where's the citation on this one? I keep hearing things, but I'm not seeing facts.
Yeah. Well,
fire set by Flynn too.
So so here, let's continue reading here. On 21st April 2010, the U.S. Copyright Office began certifying Penders' copyright claims, resulting in any Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna stories he had created to be officially recognized and acknowledged by the U.S. government as his intellectual property. Okay, great. So
Penders legally owns his creations.
But wait a minute, though. Why didn't Archie do anything about that? They just let it happen?
They probably didn't know.
I mean, from
Isn't
what
it public? It's public knowledge. I mean,
from
shouldn't
what
they be?
I know, like Sega and Archie, I believe, on 2 occasions, and they did nothing. Had the
you hear me?
characters and like all the creative rights.
Can you guys hear me?
Fair
Okay.
enough.
So it really makes it like, did Sega and Archie see it as like a joke? It's like it's fine.
Oh, there we go.
stream done. Okay.
Sorry, no, my sound card like fucked up. Anyway, what I was saying was, I almost wonder what would happen if like I went and found like the one slip up that Sega didn't like forgot to copyright, like Omo Chow, just as an example, bad example, but let's just pretend. Like, what if I went and copyrighted Omo Chow? You'd think that like if I went into the copyright office, Sega would probably be like, hey,
Stomp their foot down.
like why? Well, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah,
why would
nobody
you think they would stop me at that point?
Yeah, but Jesse, the main difference is nobody would be having a problem if Sega could never get Omo Chow again.
It's a bad example, true.
So, but they care more about Jeffrey St. John. All right.
Apparently.
So anyway, in doing so, Pender stated that he was now in position to use any legal means deemed necessary to protect and preserve his work from the Archie comics. That feels like they... If that's an actual Ken Pender's quote, I really feel like this article has the most extreme Pender's bias right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, we gotta make sure he seems like the villain in all this.
I mean, we gotta keep note. This is a Sonic fan wiki, so there's probably gonna be some level of bias to it.
Oh, really? I thought Izuka actually wrote all this himself. I'm
No.
kidding. But again, I believe that. I mean, I've seen him tweet on Twitter, and trust me, that would be a whole stream on its own.
Oh,
Again, I mean, whatever. If he wants to make money off of his characters, I mean, if he owns them legally, why not? Like, and again, until someone can, I guess, make a really good case of why he shouldn't own them legally. I go back to that example of what if you make a hit song in the 90s and then 20 years later Flow Rider remixes it. You know, I mean, yeah, you're gonna need some royalties off of that. You deserve it. So, but
I don't know.
it seems like the only instance where it doesn't go is this.
Hold on, Jesse. Pixie had a counterpoint.
Oh,
Go for it.
am I gonna have to pay Ken Pender's royalties if I draw his characters?
No.
Yes.
No. I mean, if you're doing anything in like an official published capacity, yes, you'd have to be paid. You'd have to pay him. But if it's just like fan art and you're
That's
not like,
everything, though.
I mean, so
Pixie,
legally,
if I do a cover of a song and I publish it through DistroKid, I actually publish a remix, then yeah, the people that own the original song, they get a portion of the funds, or of the revenue.
it won't always happen, but if you do draw, like, say, a character that's copyrighted and, like, you sell it, like, sell your art, the people who actually own that character or whatever, they legally can step in and take action, though most of the time they won't because it's bad press.
Yeah, Penders doesn't really typically do that with fan art. He does the fan art is asked that, his characters be credited on, trademark and copyright Floating Island Productions or whatever. That's all he asks is to be.
That's a pretty weird thing to do with fan art, but whatever.
Well, that's because on DeviantArt you have people like it's like, oh, this character, and that's not who those characters.
Say again?
Yeah, you're cutting out a bit. Hang up and rejoin.
Hold on. Okay. All right. Hold on.
That happens sometimes. All right, go ahead.
All right. Is that better?
Start talking.
All right. Okay. So because say someone posts something to DeviantArt, it's like say they post a picture of like Julie Sue or something, and they attribute the copyright of that character to say Archie Comics Publications.
Right.
That would be incorrect. I mean, granted,
Okay.
No, because here's the thing: Penders is not gonna like come down to your door. It's like you better fucking credit me for my.
but that's how they make him sound, though.
Yeah, but that's not.
I'm afraid
that's not,
Ken Penders is gonna come into my house, rip me from my room, and drag me off the tail.
That's not gonna
Well,
happen.
all right, hold up. All right, Pixie,
Yeah, but, like,
Pixie,
what's
don't
fair
fucking
here,
start
though?
reading your fan fiction right now. God
Like,
damn.
that's okay, but that's not what's gonna happen. All Penders is like, it's like, okay, if you draw my character, then I ask that you at least credit it to who created the character, and I feel that's pretty fair.
At the
That's
exact
fine.
same time, though, like,
I
how
will
many
not
people?
calm down. I refuse to calm down.
But
Ale
as I was,
Titan, fuck you.
I mean, I still can't tell you guys how many times I hear like, "Oh yeah, Run the Hedgehog created by Mardik," and I'm just like, "Ah, come on, you guys."
But, yeah, it's
Okay,
like
there's-
cringy, but at the same time, I wouldn't make a huge deal out of someone attributing.
Well,
And
I
he
mean,
really doesn't do that.
yeah, he hasn't like taken fans to court for using their characters
no.
in fucking
What about that?
Dreamcast comics.
Because probably something that'd be more of a legal matter is say like if they put his characters say into like the IDW comics, because that's an official published corporate like
Right. Yeah.
thing.
But like, Sue winds up in the next Avengers movie.
Sure, if it's something that's like a big scale like professionally published thing,
Right.
then yeah, he'd want money for his creations, and he's entitled to that because he owns those characters. But fan art is fine. You can make fan art of his characters. All he asks that, if you do it, you just credit him.
The
That's
real
it.
question is, why would you want to? No, I'm kidding, but
Exactly.
No, yeah.
His characters are so ugly.
yeah, I
I'll
don't.
say
Yeah,
here,
so
Ken
far I'm
Penders-
really not
Ken
seeing.
Penders, I'm calling you out. Your fucking characters are stupid, ugly, and they have terrible personalities. Fuck you.
See, are you trying to get Tinder to come in and abduct you?
I think honestly, Pixie is the Ken Penders tsundere.
Oh no.
I hate him.
I mean, listen, she
I
just can't stop
literally
talking
hate
about
him.
him.
Why? Why do you hate him?
He's a horrible human being. That's why.
And why is that? Why is he a
Because
horrible human
look
being?
at him. He looks like a.
He looks. That's how she goes into his. How he looks.
He
That's what you
looks like
want.
Ned Flanders. What are you talking about?
She's just waiting for that mustache ride. That's all.
Pixie wants to bang Ken Penders so bad.
Can confirm. Hey, chat, can we get fan art of that?
Pixie wants to bang Ken Penders so bad. All right. Anyway,
Moving on.
Yeah,
we're gonna be
that's the
all day.
whole spiel there. Yeah.
okay.
Not
So
even-
so the whole copyright lawsuits. I'm still confused why they start with a series of lawsuits by Ken Penders against Sega, because just registering copyrights is not suing
Starting a
anybody.
lawsuit, yeah.
That's not suing anybody. Did he ever? He never sued. That's not. Why did they word it like that, though?
I mean, he
there
sued
is like
BioWare.
Yeah,
and
we're getting
Sega
to that
later
right
on.
here. Yeah, right here. That's where we're about to be. But like the narrative, the dominant narrative about Penders that you hear all the time is that he goes around suing people. But I don't
And he's only done
understand.
that once and failed.
He's not really good for like the big boogeyman of the Sonic, franchise. He's really not that great of a boogeyman. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, not really.
No disrespect to Penders, but he's not doesn't seem to be this big scary monster that people make him out
No,
to be.
total
No.
disrespect. Fuck
No,
you, Nintendo.
no disrespect, as we've been memeing on him this whole time.
You can meme on anybody, whatever. You
Fair.
see how I made him look in the thumbnail? He looks like a Chad.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
The face of a pedophile. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Alcoin, we're getting to that right here, right
Yeah, but
now.
Jeff has that too, and you're still fine with him for the most
What?
part. In front of him.
Me?
Yeah, you have the face of a pedophile too, man.
Nah, you got it wrong, man. I don't have the face of a pedophile. A pedophile has my face.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a common mistake. Anyway, Sega Electronic Arts. I'm assuming BioWare's in there somewhere, but isn't
Well,
BioWare part of EA?
BioWare is a
Yeah,
subsidiary.
Navinar.
Yeah, BioWare is a subsidiary of EA.
Okay,
Ever since
gotcha.
2007, anyway.
All right, in 2011. Wait, when did the Dark Brotherhood come out?
There's a timeline later in the article.
I feel like the Dark Brotherhood came out way earlier than that.
Wait,
way
way
earlier.
earlier than what? 2011?
You want me to look it up?
2008.
Should I
Yeah.
look it up? Or-
What's 2008?
It was. Yeah, it was.
2008.
So that's a lie. So that's a lie.
What's a lie?
the thing about the Chronicles release.
No. It said
Right?
in
Wait.
2011 he sued
Oh.
Yeah,
EA.
perfect.
Oh wait. Okay. All right.
Well,
hold
wait a
on,
minute,
I'm
though.
confused.
Why did
I'm
he-
confused.
Here's why
Why did
I'm
he wait?
confused. Yeah, why did he wait so I guess he waited until he got the copyrights taken
Yeah,
care
he
of.
waited until he owned his characters, so that way he could sue.
Okay.
EA, I
Yeah,
guess.
that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
I just gotta make sure, including his characters of the Nocturnus clan. I have no idea what that is. I'm sure you can. I don't actually care.
I mean,
I don't
there
really
is-
care. They're
no,
characters he
I know,
made.
no. I'm not gonna. Hold on. No, I'm not gonna explain their backstory, but there is a bit of lead up regarding the whole BioWare
Oh my God.
involvement.
What is this? I haven't played
What?
this side game, so I have no idea what that.
No.
I
Okay.
explained it.
Just let me explain this. Okay, so all
Go
you really
ahead.
need to know is Penders was at a convention at one point with his wife and his kid, obviously doing like art stuff and signing autographs. And there were two reps from BioWare.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has
but-
a dad.
What the
Or he
heck?
is a dad. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
At
sorry
least
for the
that's
kid.
the cover story.
Can I tell this? Can
Yeah,
I
let him
tell
tell
the
the
story,
story.
please?
Yeah, shut up, Pixie.
No.
All right, don't be rude to your co-host, dude.
Yeah, Pixie, you'll get to fuck Penders later.
Shut the fuck up, Jesse.
Okay, can we stop
talk.
telling each other to shut the fuck up so I can tell the story? Christ.
No.
So he's at a
All
convention.
right, Alex, go.
Okay,
Alex, go.
so, I'm going.
Wait, I still need to
Okay.
interrupt a little bit more.
Okay, so he was at a convention. He stepped away from his table. He was probably taking a piss or something. I don't know what he was doing.
On the kid.
And there were two.
Go on.
There were two employees from BioWare that showed up, and it's like, hey, is Ken Penders here? And of course they said no. So it's like, oh, well, we want to talk to him because we're working on a Sonic game, and we kind of want to implement his ideas into this game, pretty much. And the thing is,
The Dark Brotherhood.
yeah, for the Dark Brotherhood, because that game was pretty much borrowing from all sides.
So they
of
actually
Sonic
were like
canon.
going up to him and telling
Yeah,
him.
they wanted to ask, and they wanted him to like help with the story. I think even.
Okay.
But like, it's like, oh, he's not back, and can we like take a message? And supposedly, they never got like Penders or somebody never got back to somebody. Winding up in BioWare, basically just assuming was like, well, he didn't say no. Ultimately, resulting in the Nocturnus clan ripping off the Dark Legion and Shade ripping off Julie Sue.
What? Hold on. So wait a minute. You're telling me that they were like, "Hey, we want to use that idea," so they approached him in person, but because he was taking a piss or whatever he was doing, yeah, they didn't wait like 5 minutes for him to come back. They just were like, "Well, if he
He didn't say no.
okay, well,
Yeah.
now I don't really feel that bad about him suing."
Although,
I'm just
to be
saying.
perfectly fair, in this
No,
case,
you can-
it's not like we
literally-
did the exact same thing. You can still make the argument that even if they did something remarkably similar to what he wound up doing in the first place with the game, that he did something remarkably similar to things that Sega had already done themselves, just
Exactly.
by nature of working on the same IP.
Right.
Well,
But
I mean,
that's-
he ultimately lost the lawsuit anyway, right? So
Yeah, he lost
Yeah, fuck him.
because that
He's a
case was
piece of
dismissed without
shit.
that case was dismissed without prejudice.
So it says here, Penders noting their appearance and narrative backstory too similar to the Dark Legion. I think that's the comic version, right? Oh shit! I can't
Yeah,
remember clicking.
the Dark Legion being the comics and Julie Sue being like the comic version of Shade.
Is that right?
Honestly,
Well,
Nocturnus Clan is a better Dark Legion, just saying.
It is believed that the similarity is what initially sparked the lawsuit. This eventually led to a mass reboot of the long-running.
No.
What? That seems like
No.
a huge jump. That seems like a
'cause
big
now
fucking
they're-
jump.
Because now they're saying the Chronicles lawsuit is what led to the reboot.
That
that's
doesn't
not
even
even
make
entirely-
sense.
That doesn't make that doesn't
Here's
make
the-
a lick of sense.
Oh wait, never mind. It even says it itself here. Tikal is still used, but
And the retirement of all its characters except for Tikal and Knuckles. Wait, hold on. hold on. This is setting off my bullshit alarm here. How the fuck does an EA game from 2008 cancel the whole fucking timeline of the Archie comics. That doesn't make any sense. That's really reaching.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know the Sonic
he lost
fandom,
it. He
reaching.
lost the case. Like, even if he won, even if he did win that case and made like 2 cents off the Dark Brotherhood, because honestly, who the fuck was buying it? Yeah, no one bought it. Like, even if he did win,
I say that as a friend of mine who's probably watching. This is a huge Chronicles fanboy.
well, but still, even if he did win, how the like? What does that have any like? Was the Dark Legion or whatever still being used in the comics at that point? Didn't they like
in 2011? Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, okay. So what would have changed exactly?
I don't know, because again, you're suing a game for ripping off characters you created for a comic book. Like,
wait, hold on, wait, clear this up for me. Penders wanted reimbursement for the reprints, but what about future issues containing his characters and storylines?
I think regarding future issues of his characters,
did he still want to be paid for those?
I believe he probably just wanted to be credited. I mean, I imagine he'd want to be paid, but I think all he really wanted for future stories that featured his stuff was just to be credited, to have his name in that little copyright.
So even if he won,
at like the bottom of the intro page.
So even if he won this lawsuit, the comics could have continued using his characters, and they wouldn't have had to pay him for anything if it was new material. They just, as long as they credited him.
I'm very unsure. I'm gonna assume, like, again, I would assume there's some payment involved, but I'm so unsure about that.
Well,
part.
one of these days I'm gonna get Ken Penders on my stream, and I'm gonna ask him directly.
All right, I can help with that. I have his email, so if you want to get in touch with him, I can help with that.
We know he's gonna be at Pixies later, so we'll just stop when he's there.
Yeah, just stop on by to say hey. It's like, oh hey, Penders. You know, what did you want if they kept using your characters?
Penders with his fucking jacked body. Ken Penders' head.
I'll bring a gun with me.
Pinning Pixie down.
Oh,
Get
God.
Penders on here and we'll talk about how he pisses on his son with him.
That's just your fan fiction. For some reason, you've got like a water sports fetish going on. I don't know what's going on.
But hold on. I want us to back because again, the big question is, what does Chronicles, using his characters, have to do with the reboot?
Nothing.
BioWare does not equate to Archie Comics.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like that it's that whole court case is irrelevant to the reboot,
the Archie Comics,
mandates, everything that we're leading up to, the mandates. Like, what does that have to do with that? Anyway, let's finish this section off.
Yeah, okay. All I'll say is I can see why some people would like use this particular suit to paint the image of Penders being a bit Sue happy, because
even though this is the only one.
But that's the only one he ever sued.
Because he didn't sue Archie.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I thought he countersued. Didn't you say?
He countered, but that's not suing. That's different.
I'm just saying where people would get the image from, though, in the first place.
Fair.
I mean, if someone punches you and you punch back, like, are you like a serial puncher now? I don't know. Whatever.
Not really.
Yeah,
he did it, apparently.
It's literally
a person, though.
This is basically a legal version of who shot first, Han or Greedo. That's basically what this is.
Well, in any case, the lawsuit ended in a stalemate when the case was dismissed for the second time and upheld in court October 2013? How long did these lawsuits take? Started in 2011. I mean, I know things take a long fucking time to, like,
you know what's funny? There's actually audio that exists somewhere that was, like, recorded from the BioWare case. I could probably find that and show that to you guys later if you want.
Maybe.
Although it's long.
So is my pee-pee. Although Penders did attempt to address the case with the Archie Comics Publishing alongside the current ongoing case. Why? Wait. Why, though?
That doesn't sound right.
Penders did attempt to address the case with Archie? Why would he try to get them in... I don't know. Citation?
That's the other thing, again, that I hate about this whole thing is, like, people will claim things about Penders or Archie or BioWare or whatever, but they just won't cite things. It's like, oh, well, a friend told me. It's like, okay, well, what's your friend's source?
That doesn't make, like, what? I don't even get the context. So he's in court with BioWare and in EA, and he just stands up. He's like, "Hold on, I got something to say about Archie, though." Like, what? I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. Whatever. Penders was forced to limit his legal actions due to statute of limitations. What is this? What is the statute? I mean, yeah, if the game came out in 2008 and by then it was 2013, you can't. That's too much time.
That's too late.
Yeah, that's too late.
That's probably why he lost.
Yeah, that's probably that. I would actually believe that that's the real reason he lost, because he waited too long. That's a real thing. If someone commits, like, even if they commit like a legitimate crime, like if you wait too long to report it, they'll get away with it. That's legitimate.
Yeah.
That's legitimate. So
Still, I don't. Before arguing, I feel like Okay, listen, real quick, before we move on to all this other shit, I don't think even if Penders did have enough time to file again, I think he still would have lost.
Yeah.
no, I don't know. We'll never know.
This one.
In fact, hold on.
Make an educated guess. I feel like
I think that's why the case was dismissed without prejudice, because there's no case at that point. You waited too long. You fucked up, basically.
Well, let's say he didn't wait too long, though.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like,
yeah, I'd say he'd probably still lose because of fair use.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
the thing is, there are some similarities, but at the same time,
but it's not the same.
It all comes down to the opinion of the judge too, right? Like if the judge is
it really does. I mean, I don't know. The way I look at it, the Chronicles characters do, like, they're not one-to-one copies, but they strike enough of a resemblance to make a case. Especially again, considering that the BioWare reps wanted Penders' like input on this game.
Just because they wanted his input doesn't mean they were going to copy his work, though.
Well, no, because I assume
they turned his work into their own thing. No,
but the thing is, I feel like had Penders got back to BioWare, or they actually had that chat, it could have been likely we would have just seen his characters.
Yeah, it probably would have just been them. Yeah, it would have just been Julie Sue.
Ken Penders was an asshole, as he always is, and didn't reply to them.
You know what it was?
That's probably what happened.
Like, just look at something like 50 Shades of Grey versus Twilight.
I think I know what happened. Well, here's what happened. Ken Penders wasn't at his table because the Ash Ketchum hat guy was at the con chasing him around. That's what it was.
I have no clue who it is.
I don't get it.
But when I went to Sonic Revolution, there was a guy when I went to Sonic Revolution 19, there was a guy in an Ash Ketchum hat that was literally stalking me because I think he wanted to steal my Switch.
Oh.
Like he stalked me into the bathroom and everything. Like I went in there to do my business with nature, and he was standing outside the stall waiting for me to come out.
Yikes!
I think that's what I think that's why Penders wasn't at his table.
But all I was trying to say,
or maybe I don't know. Maybe Penders was with Pixie in the bathroom. I don't know.
Okay, but what I was trying to say though was, if you were to look at any fan fiction that turns into a story, like how 50 Shades of Grey was originally a Twilight fan fiction, for example, or like, they don't really have any leeway just because they were originally basically the same character.
I think at that point it comes down to the opinion of the judge, right? Like if the judge kind of says like, well, in my opinion, I think, the evidence is clear. It's the same story, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But, again, though, we'll never know, though, because the case got thrown out.
And that at the end of the day,
it never even got to that point. For all we know, the judge could have been like, fuck you, they're not the same, goodbye. Or they could have been like, yep, that's the same.
But yeah. But anyway, we're trying to get to the mandates, and we've been talking about fucking lawsuit this whole time, so...
Well, it all leads up to it, right? So
yeah, because that's what people like to claim, is that the mandates are a result of the lawsuit, which,
Yeah, so we have to know this before going into the mandates. That's what it all leads up to. Archie Comics. In response to Penders filing legal ownership in 2009, was it really that long ago? When did this happen? I thought we're into 2013 by now.
Well, I mean, because, like, I think what they're doing here is, like, this isn't, like, chronological. Like, this is just, like, oh, these are the parties at play kind of thing.
Okay.
Wait, you filed it in 2009, is that true?
Yeah, that's...
basically had nothing on...
I thought... yeah, wait a minute. Hold on. It says... Yeah, okay, yeah.
Began... In 2009, he had nothing on Chronicles at the time.
Well,
No, we're back to... Yeah, we're back to
Archie.
We're back to Archie. The whole Chronicle thing, that was like a sidestep that really had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, people
in this
keep
article,
trying to lop it in, but that's
yeah. They're trying to make it seem like that, like, helped ruin the Archie comics and put the mandates in place or something.
Just no, it has nothing to do with it.
That's all BS. I don't believe that for a second.
Although, to be fair, this whole article is saying, like, titled Ken Pender's legal case.
Well, to be fair, I don't even know if there's proof that the mandates even exist, but we'll get into all that.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. I have so much I want to say about the mandates.
That's good, because, yeah, we're going to get there. So in 2009...
More than dating a man's.
Announcement of his own original graphic novel project. Oh, that's the Laura Sue Chronicle.
Yeah,
Man,
the Laura
that
Sue
ever come out?
Chronicles. Supposedly it's coming out this September, but he has promised so many release dates that I am skeptical.
Archie Comics proceeded to file a cease and desist letter. Wait, what? They did? Wait, for the Laura Sue Chronicles?
I guess. I'm gonna assume, because, like, as soon as Penders got, it's like, hey, here you go, Penders, you own your creations. Penders is like, okay, so I'm now gonna make the Laura Sue Chronicles. I'm gonna finish the Knuckles story that I started just without Knuckles.
Oh, okay.
And then Archie's like, no, these are our characters. You can't use those.
So wait a minute. So Archie waited until the copyrights were already all through and legalized to respond. They waited for him all that to finish before they...
That's how it comes off.
Well, that just makes Archie sound like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the idea.
But I thought Ken Penders was this big, bad, mean guy that stole all his...
Nope.
No, he's still a pedophile.
Okay, Pixie. You wish he was.
Can we drop the jokes, because I feel I don't know, I feel like that sort of diminishes a bit of what
all right, moving on. As the comic was licensed, Pixie,
we're not dropping the jokes, Alex. What the fuck?
Whatever.
As the comic was licensed, everything it had created, including the characters, legally belonging to Sega. Wait, hold on. I think I read this wrong. As the comic was licensed, are they still talking about Julie Sue Chronicles? Everything it had created.
No, they're talking about the Sonic comic now. And this is the claim that I was saying before, where it's like, oh, because it's a licensed comic, that automatically means even if Penders didn't sign a work-for-hire contract, that automatically means that Sega owns those characters because there's a production.
Oh, so Archie themselves is claiming that they own everything by default.
Yes.
Okay,
because
I got you.
That's what this article is claiming.
But Archie claimed that too, correct? I mean, that's why they took him to court.
Well, yeah, they're trying to claim that they own the characters, yeah.
All right, although Penders did attempt to address the case of Archie Comics Publishing alongside that. Why are they bringing that up again? They keep bringing up the BioWare case. Why?
It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, this is a very weird detour sentence. This whole sentence needs to be taken out. Statute of limitations. This has nothing to do with that. They are really trying to lob those two things together. Archie originally claimed Penders had a work-for-hire contract, which is what you've said like 10 times already, making everything Penders had created the property of Sega. However, Archie's comics legal team failed to produce the contract from Penders' work at the company.
And that's where everyone likes to try and claim, oh, there was an office fire and it was lost in the fire with no citation.
Archie's... So... Wait.
Was there ever even a fire that, like, was documented?
Well, who cares? No, forget the fire. I'm confused. Forget the fire.
What's up?
So Archie claims he signed a contract, and then they couldn't prove it.
Yep.
Then
and
why did they even bother claiming it in the first place?
To make themselves look better in the eye of the judge, probably.
But they just shot themselves in the foot by doing that.
Exactly.
They're idiots. They are a bunch of idiots.
Fun fact: Archie actually fired their whole legal team midway through the case.
No fucking shit, they better. God, they have the worst legal team ever.
And the thing is, the new legal team wasn't even any better. They were both of them were shit. They were both terrible.
Okay, so it says the lawsuit led to a settlement, so they settled. So no one actually got sued at the end. What's that?
You're getting kind of crackly.
Water.
Back?
Yeah, you're
We're
good.
back.
What I was saying was, okay, so the lawsuit ended, so no one actually got sued at the end of the day. So Pender's didn't actually sue anybody?
No, there was a suit. The thing is, they just settled, and supposedly this is how it went. Both sides technically won. So Penders still legally owns his creations and can do whatever he wants with them with the Lawsuit Chronicles. However, Archie can still use his characters, provided they, A, pay him the royalties, and B, they credit him as the creator of those characters. That's it. And Archie didn't want to do that.
Honestly, everything so far... I mean, yeah, this does kind of make Penders seem
You're under the sea again, Jesse.
Under the sea.
funny because like the stream doesn't hear it; it's only you guys. But it's like a Discord thing. I don't know. But what I was gonna say was, like, well, Ken Penders does seem like slightly greedy, But I mean, I don't know if he's any greedier than I am.
He's not evil.
But if anything, all this just makes Archie sound like a bunch of morons, though. I mean, they didn't respond to him copywriting the characters. They sued him, and then they sued him, and then in court they either lied or they claimed that they had something that they couldn't find or that they never did have. Mm-hmm. What are they doing?
Clearly nothing good.
Well, like, I just don't understand. Like, everyone makes it seem like Archie's the victim and Penders is this big bully, but
nope.
Archie did it to themselves. They did it to themselves.
They
I would actually disagree with you on that, Alex. I wouldn't say it's the other way around. I would say both sides probably have some degree of validity.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
both
entirely
sides are
one-sided.
pieces of shit.
I don't know. I'd still kind of disagree. Like,
I'm not
Penders-
seeing the part where
Scourge
Penders
back.
is a piece of
Can
shit,
you
though.
give me?
Yeah,
Because I don't think Penders
All I
is a
want
piece of
is
shit,
Scourge.
but I don't think some. Oh,
Give me
I don't think
Scourge
Penders-
back.
Yeah, but I don't think Penders is like some like money grabbing piece of shit per se.
No,
I didn't
don't
say
think
that.
He paid
God
just
either.
what he paid for his work. That's all he wanted.
I mean, he also wanted some really weird shit, but that's all subjective.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Jeffrey St. John taking Sally's virginity.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
You
Get out.
guys-
No. We have a stream on that. No.
Yeah.
We have a stream.
brought
No.
that up.
You
Shut up,
covered that
Pixie.
already and showed why that's
Pixie,
bogus.
we have a stream on that already. This is the mandates. We have a stream
Yes.
on that already. That has
We haven't
nothing
even
to do with it. This is what I'm talking about. This
because
is
he's a
no, it doesn't.
pedophile.
And this is
Oh my
exactly what I'm
God.
talking about. How there's this narrative that Penders is this big evil bad guy that does everything wrong, and people reach for every tiny possible thing to build up him as this big boogeyman. But like, you really got to reach way outside these lawsuits and these mandates or whatever to get there.
Well, yeah. Let's not get like too off track. I'm just saying he's not this huge like deity, nor is he a devil. That's all.
Like, he's not perfect. Obviously, he's not. But he's not this monster that every Archie like Flynn fan or whatever likes to make him out to be.
Well,
I'm not even a Finn Flynn.
I don't know about. I mean, that's all.
fan.
I'm sure they exist, but I really feel like the dominant narrative about the whole Penders and Archie thing is extremely fabricated, or if they are referencing real things that happened, they're
twisting it.
reaching. They're really reaching. Like, they're trying to find the worst possible things he could have done, and they're being like, well, look, Penders did all this stuff, blah, 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 what a douchebag, am I right? But, like, can't you do that to, like, literally anybody? Like, you can go find videos of me saying the N-word, and, you know, just, like, you can find me, I'm sure if you wanted to, you could make, like, Jesse Exposed document, like, oh, here's all the times that he said the F-word and the N-word and all this and that. I mean, who's fucking perfect? I mean, I'm as close as it gets.
In all fairness, disregarding all the jokes I said, Alex has given me a new perspective on Penders. I still think he's super creepy and kind of a weird guy.
But you want to bang him.
All right,
I know.
Guys, can we stop with
I have a new perspective.
Well, now we know where she wants it.
I have a new perspective on Ken Penders, and I don't absolutely hate him anymore. I have a new perspective.
I'm glad I've been able to.
Well, here's what I want to know. Why was the default perspective hatred until proven innocent?
Because that's the narrative.
That's how people are nowadays.
I mean, well, welcome to the next era. So let's keep reading. Anyone else got anything to say before we read this loose ends section?
Oh yeah.
But we know Pixie wants her ends loose.
Wait, somebody mentioned me.
Oh my god, guys.
Loose ends. In late 2012, man, they are really jumping around the timeline here.
Hold on. Before you get into this loose end thing actually provides two examples of what Archie could have done to bypass paying Penders and keeping the old continuity going. But we'll get to that. I'll interrupt you when you get to that.
All right, yeah. And interrupt Pixie any chance you get to, by the way.
Yeah, go
ahead. In late 2012, all characters created or introduced by Ken Penders were removed from any further use or reference in Archie's Sonic comic franchise. Okay? Due to story arcs in production at the time, in both Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Universe, heavily featuring characters created by Penders, both books were subject to sudden rewrites. And I'm assuming this is all Archie's decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't something that Penders demanded. This is something that they chose to do.
Nope.
Okay, with changes in font. Changes in font.
I can find an example of that.
Hold on. Hold on a second. They changed the font? I don't know. Why is that?
Because they rushed out the changes that bad. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
May as well have just rewritten the whole thing.
I mean, that's what they did. They rebooted, right?
Well,
no,
yeah.
I mean, like, if you're gonna go back,
just completely rewritten the issue from scratch and instead of trying to make it legally viable or whatever.
Yeah, don't just change a few sentences. Just rewrite the whole. Yeah,
I'm gonna send an example of that in the chat, and you can feel free if you want to show that or not.
I'm gonna keep reading too. Sonic the Hedgehog number 2. I can't believe they made it that high. That's just ridiculous. Were entirely rewritten to remove dozens of characters from the advertised Knuckles-centric story. Sonic Universe replaced Robbo the Hedge. Who the fuck is that? That's Sonic.
He was Amy's cousin.
Yeah.
That's literally just Sonic. Is this a Penders character?
It is a Penders character. Okay, because this is a complete sidebar. A big complaint I also hear Penders with the whole Boogeyman thing is all of his characters are recolors. But I think what Penders was trying to do when it came to certain characters, for example, all the Echidna characters look the same, but you got to keep in mind is they're all part of the same bloodline. They're all part of the And then I guess when it came to stuff like Robbo the Hedge, it was okay, so we already have this one species. I think he was treating it like aliens. They weren't human beings.
I mean, they all look like Sonic characters. I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but people often complain all of his characters are just recolors or rehashes of just the Sega characters.
I mean, Ian Flynn created the most popular recolor ever made, ever to be seen in the entire
Scourge,
franchise.
which is literally a
My
recolor.
baby!
Yeah, Scourge, which is literally a recolor of
My
Pender's
son!
character.
He is my son! He
Can
is my son.
Pixie,
Fuck you.
shut up. My
I
God.
finish? Jeez, man. Like I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm actually kind of getting a little annoyed. No
Yeah,
offense.
Pixie, shut up.
Okay.
Okay, so Scourge is quite literally a recolor of Ken Pender's character, Evil Sonic.
Right, Anti-Sonic. I've read
Yeah,
that
Also
one.
happens to be a recolor of regular Sonic.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not a recolor, it's more just Sonic with leather.
But he literally
That-
got
that is a
recolored, like
recolor.
legitimately
quite
in the
literally.
comic.
Yeah. Like, that's not like me memeing. Like, he's a literal in-canon recolor.
In universe, he actually got recolored. That's pretty
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, I know. I love him. He's my baby.
I don't. He goes against Evil Sonic's whole point as a character.
You know what, Pixie?
Well, you
How about
can
this?
suck
Pixie,
my fuck.
Pixie, you can have him. How about that? Go to the copyright office right now and copyright Scourge.
Okay, I'll go do that.
He can't because Penders owns Evil Sonic, and Evil Sonic is Scourge.
Just
No,
copyright the
Evil Sonic
name
is
Scourge.
Scourge.
I don't know. All right, anyway, moving
Evil
on.
Sonic isn't.
All right. Anyways,
Additionally, reprinted
You know what,
material is books such as Supersonic Special Magazine 9, Supersonic, Super blah blah blah.
Actually, hold on, wait, because I want to talk about what they talk about with rewrites and removing characters. Okay, so with the Sonic series, because like this is what I'm talking about before, where it comes where they could have continued the old continuity without paying Penders. So the first one is what they did in the main series, and they just Thanos snapped basically all these Echidna characters. They had this. Funny, I say Thanos because the guy who got rid of them was a character.
Well,
But anyways, like this character got rid of all of these Echidna characters, and they were gone, just nowhere to be seen. That's one way they could have done it. They could have just Thanos snapped, like removed them from existence.
okay.
And like tapped it around the cracks. The second one is what they did in Sonic Universe, where they had a story that was planned to have Robbo the Hedge and Marianne, and then at the last minute changed them into completely new characters that are basically legally safe versions of the older Penders characters. So that's two ways they could have gotten away.
But did they have to do either of them though? Couldn't they have just
Well, no,
used the
they don't.
characters anyway?
No, because they'd have to pay and or credit Penders, which they didn't want to do.
Okay.
But
Well,
I'm just saying, like, if they wanted to continue the old continuity without paying Penders or without crediting Penders, they could have done either of those things. Either get rid of the characters and just dance around the cracks, or make new characters that fit the old characters' roles.
I really don't. I mean, how much money were these comics making? Like, was it really that big a deal to pay him like 59 cents per comic? Or like,
You know, it's funny you say that, because Pender said the royalties were probably something like $175 per issue at most.
that's
What?
like less than I make a week.
I know, it's so dirt cheap, and it really goes to show how much of a cheapskate Penders is, or not Penders, Archie is.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, God, like I feel like at this point it would be just almost easier to just pay him like the 75 cents and be done with
Yeah,
it.
like
I'm just saying. Like the
literally
comics aren't
keeping-
making that much money.
Yeah, literally Archie like basically did the equivalent of grabbing the ball in front of the schoolyard and popping it so nobody could play with it anymore because they were that ass hurt.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still not seeing the Penders boogeyman thing. It really does just seem like
Penders
Archie.
boogeyman.
It really does seem like that Archie is just salty and just I don't know, man.
Just like to play devil's advocate, you could also make the argument that they just didn't use those characters just to avoid having to have the discussion or like the controversy.
Well, that sort of goes back into what I was saying. Like they could have just removed them, placed them.
They could have just what?
Replace
could've-
them.
They could have removed them or replaced them, like I said, and they did that. They did both of these things and just decided, fuck it, it ain't worth the trouble, so we'll just reboot the damn thing.
Fair enough.
So it says here that they avoided reprinting stories containing work by Penders, omitted Julie Sue, and Saffron B. And Pender's created locations were renamed. Additionally, the stories that were reprinted edited most of the Dark Legion into Eggman's army. Okay. Again, I almost feel like it would have been cheaper just to pay him the 75 cents. It seems like more work to like go through all that effort, but okay.
They're just that stubborn.
Yeah, and an entire page featuring Leendo is removed, blah, 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 blah.
You know, Cross makes a good point. Couldn't they just have bought the rights for the characters off of Penders? He wanted to get paid anyway, so may as well.
Yeah, they couldn't have been that much, right?
Hypothetically, they could, but I don't think Penders was willing to depart with them because he wanted to finish, like, the story he started. Because that's ultimately the goal he's trying to do with Lars 2 Chronicles, is to finish his Echidna story. Be that with Knuckles or not.
All right.
Well, he doesn't have much of an audience anymore, but okay.
I mean, I'm still looking forward to it personally. It's better. It'll be better than IDW. I hope.
I mean, art style wise, it looks like crap.
Art style wise, it looks like crap.
This has nothing to do with the mandates. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Possible upcoming lawsuits because this is almost done. On
you're underwater again, my man. Oh, sorry to tell you.
God damn it. October 2015, Ken Pender has posted a tweet hinting about another lawsuit directed at Archie or Sega and asserted to not blame him for what happens next.
Which never came to pass, mind you.
No, I mean, I'm sure that... I don't know. It just, again, they're really pushing that.
Stretching.
Yeah, they're really pushing that Penders is going around. Yeah, pushed soon people all the time. I mean, I guess it doesn't help that if that tweet was real, I guess it doesn't help, like, go against the narrative.
There is a source, so surely the tweet.
I believe the tweet's real, but I'm just saying, like, Ken Penders, if he actually did that, that's not exactly helping to make his image the opposite of what the narrative is.
Right.
But whatever. I guess he doesn't care.
They're both sides are scumbags. Fuck all of you.
But I mean, everyone's a scumbag. Although it does not mention party members, Archie, son, blah, 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 in regards to some comic book issue reprints, which either involves or possibly breaches term. Well, are they? I mean, I guess this was before it went to IDW, right? Because there's no way they're going to be reprinting them now.
Well, no, not unless they come to some sort of agreement.
Penders would later inspire former writer Scott Fulop to pursue legal action against Archie for unauthorized use of his characters. But no one goes after Scott Fulop, though, right? It's just Penders.
No. Also, they make a lie at the very end of that quote about Scott Fulop. They say that it's over. That's not true. As I checked the court docket for his case as well, and I believe the latest entry into that docket, the latest was January 2020. So it's still going.
Yeah. All right.
So they lied.
So this is the timeline of events. This is a summary of everything we just saw. BioWare makes Dark Brotherhood. Penders well, when did he quit exactly? Was it 2006, 2005, 2006? It was before BioWare, though, right?
I believe it was before BioWare because he quit sometime around 2000. He quit sometime around 2006 because that's when Ian Flynn took over.
Right. So Penders filed his copyrights in 2009, January. Oh, wow, early 2009. Copyright registration went through by a year later. Well, it took a while. Sega Incorporated and Archie failed to respond to the notifications.
Well, hey, at least they acknowledged it.
Wait, okay. Penders is notified by the Copyright Office, so he basically... Oh, wait a minute. So you're telling me when he copyrighted them, they actually did reach out to Sega and were like, are you guys sure you don't want to say anything? And they just didn't?
That's what I was saying before. I believe they were contacted at least on 2 separate occasions about this and just didn't give a shit at all.
Archie is looking more and more like complete morons every time more information is added.
Yep.
What is wrong with them? What?
A lot.
How is
apparently.
Penders the big bad guy in all this when Archie does everything wrong at every turn?
mean,
I don't
just look at
understand.
the
Penders is a creepy old dude, so people.
Is it the mustache? I think
basically
it's just the
equate that.
mustache. I think that's
Yeah,
what
it
it is.
is.
Yeah,
It
it's the
is.
mustache.
I still think it's a Flanders stash. I don't know about the rest of
I
you.
mean, I like it. It
No,
reminds
it's
me of
not.
Zlad. You ever Supersonic Electronic? That's what it reminds
No,
or Saul of the
maybe not.
Moment. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah, or Flanders.
Interesting.
Flanders is fine.
Howdily
so-
diddly.
So he gets his
he'll be doing
copyrights.
lots of good.
So at the end of that year, then, so Archie sues Penders first. That was
Yes.
the first instance of any lawsuit. Was
Yes.
Archie against Penders? They sued him
Yes.
first,
Yes.
and then he is forced to file a lawsuit against Sega and EA. Why is he forced to?
No, he wasn't. What?
Huh? That makes no
It
sense.
says Penders is forced to file a lawsuit
A
against
lawsuit
Sega.
against Sega and due to the what?
That doesn't make any
That makes
sense.
no sense.
Yeah,
None
that
of that
whole
should-
sentence is
means-
wrong at every level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
statute of limitations means you literally can't do shit legally.
Yeah,
How are you
that-
forced to do something legally?
Maybe
They're
the
really
word file
trying-
is wrong. I think they meant to put another word here instead. Because if they were forced to drop a lawsuit due to this, like that would make sense.
They're literally,
I mean,
they really are trying to weave the BioWare shit into the Archie shit.
Yeah,
Not only that, but like, there's no way to force anyone to file a lawsuit.
Yeah,
as far
no.
as I'm aware.
I
I mean, unless you're being held up at gunpoint, it's like you better fucking sue that company, bitch.
but
Yeah,
even
that's
that would
about
be that would be like a crime in itself, though. But anyway, both
And
sides.
forced himself to do it at gunpoint.
Oh god.
Judge Otis Wright dismisses the Penders and EA case. I'm assuming that has to do with the statute of limitations again. But Penders and EA are refiled by Penders' legal team. Oh, so he tried suing them again? So it was thrown out and he tried to refile?
Yeah, that's the whole statute of limitation. You can file lawsuits, but that doesn't mean that they'll be accepted by the court. And that's where the statute of limitations comes in, I believe, where it's like, okay, you're at your limit here. You can't file this case anymore until we actually look at the damn thing.
Got you. Penders and Archie dismissed. An appeal is filed by Penders regarding the case against Sega and Electronic Arts. Summary judgment against ACP and Penders. Sign a term sheet of agreement by 2012. So it looks like whatever happened in court between Archie and Penders, they must have, worked it out by 2012, right? When did the reboot happen? Oh, right here.
2013.
That's like 6 months later.
Yeah.
I really feel like the reboot didn't have to happen.
No, it didn't, we were presented examples on how they could have sidestepped having to code it. Either pay the man and credit him, get rid of the characters a la Thanos,
Right.
or replace them.
Or just pay the $5 to buy them.
Or
Yeah,
that
I
too.
know. How much could he
You know,
possibly?
pay them, buy them off of Penders. But
I
again,
think it's less than $100 to file a copyright anyway. Like,
but then
it's not
again,
that much.
it's a matter of Penders didn't want to depart with them, as again he still wanted to finish.
Yeah, he seemed
his
to care
story.
more about his little story, whether it be good or bad. That's that's your opinion, but
At least he cares.
yeah, he cared about his. It's kind of like George Lucas in Star Wars, when he sold Star Wars, and now he's like, oh, you guys fucked it all up. I
I was
gotta
like,
get back
oh
in there.
no, I gotta get back in there. I gotta
Yeah.
get in that right room and fix it.
Yeah, right. I get it. Again, I'm not seeing the Penders evil thing yet. I just
Because
don't.
it's not real. It's
I
a
just
bunch
don't
of
see it.
bullshit.
No, he is evil. He has that evil glint in
All
his
right, yeah,
eyes.
in your fucking tsundere fan fiction, he's evil. All right. So here, okay, cool. We're almost at the mandates. How about that, right? We're like, what, hour and a half into the stream, we're finally getting to the mandates.
All right.
Yeah,
But
well,
we're at 80 watchers. Fucking 80. I wanted to see if we can get to 75, but
we overshot.
we overshot
All right,
that.
guys.
Thanks,
But that's
everyone.
good because we're gonna have the most viewers at the mandates, which is the meat of the
Yes.
stream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna
Aftermath.
be fun to talk about.
We'll speed this then. We'll speed through this.
You can watch the entire any Star Wars trilogy in the time that we're gonna be done with this stream.
The settlement of the case, as noted by Pender, is granted by Archie limited use of his characters on limited conditions, but not limited to ownership and acknowledgement and royalty sum payments.
As I've said.
The reasons for Archie's decision not to use them remain undisclosed.
Because they're greedy.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, personally, it seems Archie just seems salty.
Yeah.
They just seem like stubborn and salty.
Again, it goes back to my analogy of they basically pop the ball in front of the schoolyard, so no one can play with it.
Regardless of the outcome of both legal cases, honestly, it really feels like Archie was salty that they didn't get their way. They're like a child.
Yep.
Much of the Archie
That's my
comic publishing,
analogy.
Sonic the Hedgehog character stories universe created by Ken Penders were purged from the continuity at the combined behest of Sega Incorporated. Wait, Sega Incorporated got involved? Did they tell them to do that? Wait, did Sega tell Archie to reboot?
They could have.
I mean,
We don't know.
potentially they could have, but I would believe not.
I mean, I wouldn't find it very hard to believe since Sega kind of restructured everything. Though, granted, that started 3 years prior to this, but it wouldn't surprise me too much with how they didn't really seem to give a shit about the comics at all. If they don't care that much in the first place, they'll probably take their sweet time with getting that to all in back.
Wait. So
comics too.
if I'm getting this correctly, Penders said, yeah, you can still use my characters and stories, just give me a little something for my work, but you can still use them. Archie was like, no, I don't want you to do that. And then they're like, what should we do, Daddy Sega? And Sega's just like, I don't fuck, no, just get rid of them, I guess.
Probably. It wouldn't be hard to believe.
Because again, you got to keep in mind, Sega wanted no part in this legal case, as they wanted
who
Sega
would?
to do it themselves.
I mean, the whole thing probably pretty stupid from Sega's end, and that's coming from Sega.
Yeah, I know, right? They've got much room to talk. This resulted in the forced implementation of a continuity reboot and massive storyline change, much to the dismay of many fans. Well, I'm glad that they added that little note there that the fans were unhappy, just to kind of emotionally manipulate the people reading this. Notably, the characters created by other creators also vanished from the book, which I guess is also somehow Pender's fault, including those of Carl Ballers, who also stated that he owns characters he created during his tenure, blah, 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 blah. You know what, though? If I'm being completely honest, I don't know if I really care that much if Archie did want to hit the reset. But,
They didn't have to, though.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think they should have done. They could have done a universe split kind of thing where they're like, hey, all the game characters gotta get sent to their own universe, and then all of the non-game characters, all the Penders characters and whatever, they can stay in Universe B and continue their adventures so on from their point on.
That I actually had a theory like that, and I even presented it to in the mythos of Lara Sue Chronicles. Because the whole Genesis wave, because how I mentioned before how there was a character who just basically Thanos all the Echidna characters away.
Yeah.
Did that through putting them in through a warp ring through an unknown dimension. So, hypothetically speaking, what if the Super Genesis wave reset that unknown universe, resulting it into the Lara Sue Chronicles?
I mean, I don't know. I like Jesse's idea on this one.
Well, I'm just saying,
have all the characters split off and then that way,
that way it's technically a
you don't have to
reboot,
have Sally in
kind
the
of.
comics anymore. It's just the game characters. Sally can go get fucked in some other dimension, and everyone's happy.
So anyway, I just wanted. Oh my god, I hate modern internet. You know, I fucking hate the modern internet. It's just all ads, pissing me off.
my product, Jesse.
Anyway, so I wanted to show this picture because AWF, who is my #1 fan, sent me this picture. I think we're supposed to look at this and look at this and go like, "Oh my god, look at all those bad characters. They all look the same."
Can you send it in the chat because I'm not looking at the stream.
You'll see it in a second.
Who is AWF going to be fucking this time?
No. Okay, but here's what I have. I pulled this up.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about before. Everyone complaining.
Hold on, listen. So here's the Sega official Echidna tribe. You know, let that sink in.
Oh yeah, you're
saying.
You're showing like the Sonic Adventures, right?
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, you've got Sega. I mean, you've got Penders being like, you know, hey, I can do better than that. Let me just, you know, I'll make one a little darker, a little lighter. But I mean, look at the official versions. They all look the same.
If anything, Penders has more justification for them to all Knuckles, considering they're all part of Knuckles' lineage. They're all part of his family.
They're all Asian.
Sure.
But anyway, I just thought that was funny because like I've seen people be like, I'm looking at all these original characters by Penders, but then it's like, okay, cool, look at the Sonic Adventure official character designs by Sega, and Penders designs have more originality to them.
Oh yeah, they really do.
Woo!
But then watch.
That's a point for Penders.
And then watches people's like, well, it's different with Sega because it was knowledge.
Sega gets a pass. Penders doesn't. Penders has to be the bad
basically,
guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway,
The technology argument is fair, though.
Ken Penders continues to work on his Laura Sue Chronicles, is working on a book, blah, 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 blah. And now we get to...
The mandates.
The mandates.
Here we go, buddy.
The mandates. All Ken Penders' fault. He did it. Wait, so he never actually... But we know what happened in the courts, though. Like, he never said, oh, here's these, like, mandates that I am issuing you. Like, you have to follow.
Yeah.
Like, Penders never did that. We just saw the court cases.
The only thing I've heard people say that Penders has demanded they do regarding the stories is that they can't kill off Locke or Julie Sue, and that Mobius 25 years later has to be the canon future. But here's the thing. No citations on that either.
Okay.
None.
But why... Okay, I'm confused, though. The Sega mandates are these rules that Sega made, right?
Yeah.
And they supposedly gave them to Archie and said, going forward, these are our rules. But what does that have to do with Penders at all? I don't understand. Why do people blame Penders for this?
Because most people just say, like, oh, well, these were made so that way we don't have another situation where the comic gets all crazy and we have another lawsuit on our hands, probably.
Please don't bring up Sonic and rules again. I can't
I've got these new laws for you. Anyway,
my father, the king.
But, yeah, I guess I'm just confused because I'm not seeing how this connects to Penders. I mean,
I want to say this regarding the list of mandates.
Yeah.
The earliest mention of these mandates that exist online come from Ian Flynn's forums.
Okay.
Fact.
All right.
And I've never seen like a Sega employee. Like, they'll say that there are rules on these licensed projects. Obviously, they'd have rules.
Right.
But they never outright say that the list of mandates that people like to claim are Penders' fault. No Sega employee, or even Archie or IDW employee, has come out to say that these were cause of Penders.
So wait, the dominant narrative in the fandom right now is that these mandates were written directly in response to things that Ken Penders did in order to be like, oh, we can't let that happen again. Here's a set of rules.
Okay, well,
really
to be fair, to be fair, I always thought this was that Ken Penders didn't cause it. He more of sped up the process of this getting put into place. I feel like Sega was going towards this before the whole Ken Penders thing.
But True, didn't you say that
Ken Penders did what he did? He just sped up the process.
True. Didn't you say that Sega was changing a bunch of shit around at this time anyway? Like, what if they were just going to do this anyway?
I mean, I was saying that. Well, like the reason I said it could be to what Pixie said. The reason I say it could be is because it could have, like she said, just sped it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But how much it did or didn't, assuming these are real in the first place, is like something that could be anyone's guess.
So I'm going to start.
Here's the other thing too, though. Why is this only on the comics? Because you think, oh, if this could happen to one medium, what if this happens if we make a new cartoon?
Well, we'll get into that when we get to each of these.
Yeah. Let's dive in. As per the legal settlement of the case, new and increased mandates from Sega were put into effect in any and all Sonic the Hedgehog related contents, including but not limited to games, television, film, toys, and comics. Oh, well, then, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like it was in response to Penders at all. It sounds like something that they...
And again, as...
I mean, it could be still partially.
And again, I feel like as we eventually move through this, because if it's that, then it's not just the comics, then it's all of Sonic multimedia post 2013.
But again, we'll get to that.
Hold on, wait. I have a question, though. When were these mandates supposedly put in place? Like, around the time of the reboot? Or
I would imagine, like, okay, so you're going to reboot. These are your rules. Follow them to the letter. I'm assuming that's
how many
the narrative.
How many years between Ian Flynn replacing Penders and the mandates going into effect?
Doesn't seem to say.
Well, Ian Flynn came in 2006 on 160, and the reboot didn't happen until 252 in 2013.
Okay, so 7 years of Ian Flynn working on the comics, and suddenly these mandates come out of nowhere.
Pretty much.
And how is it?
The earliest mention of these mandates are on his forums. Suspicious.
Okay, that's
Not really.
I'm wondering why, if they were in like, oh, Ken Penders did all this BS, blah 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 blah. We gotta set up these mandates. Like, why would Sega wait 7 years to do that? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like if they were gonna make these mandates and be like, well, we gotta fix what Ken Penders broke. Like, why wouldn't they go into effect immediately when Ian Flynn took over? Why 7 years later? Are they really?
It just seems too coincidental.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they're in response to something else, that maybe things that Ian Flynn did. I guess we'll find out. Sega-specific original characters were not permitted family relationships unless already established, like Cream and Vanilla, with some exceptions. Charles Hedgehog.
Except Uncle Chuck wasn't even Sonic's uncle in the reboot. He's often referred to the reboot as Uncle to Many, even though he looks like an older ass Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, we don't even know who he's related to in SatAM anyway. He's just Uncle Chuck. Is he related to his mom, his dad? I don't fucking know.
I mean,
he's just Uncle Chuck.
Had that. Yeah, I get that. All right.
What about in Underground? Was he related to the Queen, Alina?
Well, I mean, if Sonic has a mom, then surely maybe Uncle Chuck
either
is
way,
a brother.
But wait, that's confusing though. Wait, but why? Wait, hold on.
Wait. What, Jesse? What's up?
Uncle Chuck wasn't even made by Ken Penders anyway, so why is he like this weird exception?
Because they got to make it more like the video game. Because Sonic doesn't have an uncle.
All right, hold on.
That's what a certain
hold on.
to do.
If the whole idea is to make it more like the video games, why is Sally still in there anyway? And Uncle Chuck, those are from SatAM.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, because everyone will say that, oh, Ian Flynn fought tooth and nail to save the freedom fighter. But the thing is, the Freedom Fighter, like, okay, the initial contracts between Sega and Archie Comics were based on the first 2 Sonic games, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Sat AM. The only reason why the Freedom Fighters and other subsequent adventures or Sat AM related material to the reboot is because those were agreed upon things that were in the initial contract. This is called grandfathering in.
Okay.
Although, like, I also want to know, like, why it's, like, what they really count as a familial relationship. Because, like, would they count something like what happened in the movie with, like, Sonic and Longclaw? Or would it have to be blood-related?
Yeah, that's something I want to know. Because, like, do figures count as... Well, clearly not, because Uncle Chuck is an uncle to many in the reboot, so maybe not?
Was Penders, did Penders create a mom and dad for Sonic or something? I don't know.
He created a lot of the created Sonic's parents, Knuckles' parents, Tails' parents. I believe he created Sally's mom.
Okay.
Eggman created his own mom in Sonic Boom.
Oh my
god. But that's not familial. That's a robot.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it says here...
It's a familial relationship.
It says Archie exclusive characters Sally, Rotor, Bunny, Antoine are permitted to have families, but they're not Archie characters.
Archie. They're Deke, if not Sega characters.
Yeah, Archie doesn't own those characters. They never... They're
Sega's characters that were made with help of Deke.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Archie used them a lot, but that doesn't...
It does literally say, though, with some limited exceptions, though the question here should be, what, like, makes them exceptions?
Yeah, but then again, the Freedom Fighters were used in more than just Archie.
Yeah,
there's Spinball, there's, like, storybooks, like, novels and picture books. There was a lot... Like, the Freedom Fighters run a lot of things in the 90s.
Yeah, if Archie thinks that they own those characters, that's also extremely arrogant.
Very, very much so.
The use of Penders' characters or any of his content from the pre-Super Genesis wave was forbidden. Although, settlement granted Archie legal use of his creations under limited conditions.
We covered that already.
For not doing so or not disclosed to the public by either Archie or Sega at this time.
Yeah.
So Sega, according to this mandate list, Sega told Archie not to use the Penders characters.
Pretty much, supposedly.
I mean, I don't know if I
could buy Sega.
I could buy that. Like, Sega's just like, you know what? Just don't get involved. It's not worth it. Just don't use his characters.
Exactly. I could see them doing that.
I mean, obviously, because they're trying to avoid any other legal complications.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Sega really has no bias in the Penders.
Also, when we're done reading through this, I want you to look at a thing I sent. Not now, though. We're done with the list.
Okay. Content from certain games is not permissible. Metal Overlord from...
Even though they do it in IDW?
Even though they did that in IDW and had like an panel that referenced them in the reboot.
Wait, why is this here? Why does this?
Because supposedly Sega has certain restrictions. Character, I don't get it.
This is
supposedly they couldn't even use Cream or Omega because Sonic X was still going. That's what I've been told, and that also doesn't make sense to me.
What about like Cosmo? Well, wait, doesn't Sega own TMS now anyway? Like, don't they...
Yeah, so it's I don't know, man. Maybe it's want those characters to be many things, so it's like as a brand. Maybe I don't know.
This just seems bizarre. This seems like very bizarre. Hang up and come back in. This just seems very bizarre things to specify, like, oh, we can't use that. All characters and content with the exception of original Sega characters from Sonic Chronicles. Well, I mean,
I could buy. Makes sense. I could buy that.
I could buy that.
Penders and Chronicles.
Chronicles pretty much been retconned anyway, so yeah.
More or less, yeah.
I could buy that because, like, if they just don't want to get involved with the EA and be like someone from EA be like, well, I designed fucking Shade the Echidna. Where's my paycheck? Like, if they don't want to get involved, I get that. It's whatever. I don't even care. I don't need those characters.
Although, like, if that were the case, you think they'd be like doing the same thing with Dimps and Blaze and shit.
Replacing said characters with post-incarnations, however, was permissible. Maximilian Acorn to Nigel Acorn.
Basically changing the king.
But he wasn't a Pender's character either. He was from the show.
Okay. But here's the thing, though.
Well, to be fair, they never specified Penders in this.
Well, here's the thing, though, regarding the king, though, because in the show. Okay, but like in the show and any spin-off media that wasn't Archie Comics, he didn't have a name. He wasn't Maximilian Acorn. He was always just the King of Mobius or King Acorn.
The man that wrote the rules.
So,
I've got some new laws for you.
So Maximilian or Max Acorn was a name that Penders introduced.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah,
so
you can just rename him. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's why they renamed him to Nigel. Also, I think that might be a tongue-in-cheek reference to like Tim Curry, because he voiced the king in SATM and also voiced Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries.
I get it.
That might be like I don't know. I might be looking too deep into it, but it seems kind of like that.
Archie Comics Publishing was forbidden to reference Sonic the movie, Sonic Underground, or Sonic X, unless given permission.
So here's
they were forbidden to reference a movie that didn't exist yet.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing. Well, no,
I know what they mean. I know they mean the OVA. I know.
All right. Okay, so here's the thing regarding that. Underground and the OVA.
Say again. Uh-oh.
Sonic Underground, like an epilogue comic.
Hold on, the last 15
canceled.
Seconds of you talking got cut out, so say it again.
All right, hold on. Should I hang up and come back and say
No, it was me this time.
Actually, if anything, Jesse, you should cut out because you sound like you're underwater.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
tonight.
streaming, I don't know why. It's only when I stream with you guys that this happens. I stream all the time. Not this
All right, so what am I repeating?
Something about the movie.
Okay, so in pre-reboot, they already had references to both the OVA and Sonic Underground, and not only that, there were plans for Sonic Universe number 50 to be an epilogue story to Sonic Underground.
I heard about that.
But of course, the only thing that came out of that was like the pencils for like Patrick Spaziante's cover of that, which looks amazing, mind you.
Okay.
But basically that got scrapped because, again, of the lawsuit and then leading up to the crossover. So issue 50, the plan with the Underground stuff, was scrapped last minute for a Metal Sonic versus Shard story. Also, I just want to bring this up because, you're not allowed to reference Sonic the movie. Any of you guys been keeping up with Sega Hardlight?
No.
I mean, to be fair, this specifically states Archie couldn't
No. Because remember earlier in the thing, it said it was for all media.
I know, but this specific one says Archie.
Oh, I mean, all right, that's.
But I don't get
fair.
it though. Why is Sonic Underground out? That's also a Deke property anyway. So like, how is that any different from SATM at all? It's the same thing.
Well, the difference is again, Adventures in SATM were part of the initial contract. Underground wasn't.
It's also worth mentioning that, like, around the time, if I recall, Sega wanted people to just, like, not reference or not really for them to have anything cataloged that they saw as underperforming. And I think all of those things, save for Sonic X, underperformed to a degree. That they probably just wouldn't be happy with.
It's a possibility.
Archie Comics is forbidden from using Dr. Eggman Nega. Make your jokes now, True. Unless specified.
You see, this thing has kind of been broken, but not really.
I don't get it though. Isn't he from Sonic Rush? They can use Blaze. Why is he different?
Yeah. I think the reason why he's not allowed to be used is because of his complicated backstory. Because in the Rush games, he's from a different dimension. In the Rivals games, he's from the future. In the Olympic mobile games, who gives a shit? But ultimately,
But they didn't want him in the
mandate-
Archie comics. They can have
Yeah, but
fucking
that-
Nigel Acorn, but not Dr. Eggman Nega, a character from the games.
Yeah, and the thing with that as well is that mandate was broken, as Eggman Nega has been referenced by name. In one of the issues post-reboot, we see Eggman Nega's silhouette, and then in a later issue, with an off panel, I believe, Eggman Nega appears in the flesh.
Wait, but do we know that that's broken? Because it does say, unless specifically granted permission from Sega Incorporated.
I mean,
so if they granted permission, it wouldn't be broken.
But why does it have to be a mandate, though? I just don't understand.
Yeah, but why is it granted?
I don't know. It seems really arbitrary.
Here's the thing. Why is he only allowed to be seen as a silhouette or referenced by name in the books, but you can only see him in like the little 3-panel gag comics at the end of the book? That doesn't sound right to me.
I just don't understand why Sega cares that much.
I don't think they do, which is again why I think these mandates are bogus.
Or perhaps they did, like, they still could be real. And I don't necessarily think one way or the other, but assuming they were, again, it wouldn't be the first time Sega did something really fucking stupid for no reason.
I'm under the belief that Sega has rules, but it's not these. Because otherwise, all of Sonic Media would be following these rules, but they're not.
Sonic's home planet was no longer to be referred to as Mobius.
Even though there's like a Sonic Twitter post which literally references Sonic's planet being Mobius.
Has it not been Mobius in any other continuity?
No.
The only time where it wasn't Mobius is with the OVA where it's Planet Freedom,
right? And
in the reboot where it's just Sonic's World, just undisclosed title. It's not Earth, but it's Sonic's World.
Yeah, his world.
Yeah, because in Sat AM,
Shush.
they specifically refer to Mobius as like the planet that they're on.
Wait, why would Sega not want that though? I don't understand. Like they have their own name.
And the other thing too is the funny thing with this, because this also goes hand in hand with one that, because like there are different mandate lists out there.
Wait, what was it called in the movie?
Actually, it wasn't called anything in the movie.
It wasn't called anything in the movie. It was just his world.
Yeah, but like. The funny thing is, this actually does make sense for Sega to do, because, like, in the manual of the older games, it was often referred to as Mobius because they were just going with, like, what Americans were used to. But what I was saying, but if you let me continue, though, the thing is, Sega did specifically bar, the Western canon when they essentially just took over for the entire. When Sonic Team of America essentially Japan took over for essentially the entire thing.
Right. But the thing is, Mobius was only in the U.S. manual.
And we know that Sega Japan has a hate boner for all things American contributed Sonic lore.
But
again,
I can buy them doing this.
I still don't like Ken Penders didn't come up with the term Mobius. That's from Set AM as well, and I just don't. I'm still none of these things are things that Penders did wrong that they need to correct.
Mobius actually didn't even originate from the Deke cartoons. Mobius originates from a document created in 1991 by Sega of America.
Yes.
But
Mobius is a Sega of America term, and on top of that, because. Sidebar, but still relates to this mandate. Flynn says that these characters aren't allowed to be called Mobians anymore. But in a live stream, one of the Sonic live streams, Aaron Weber outright says that they are still Mobians. Like you can still call them Mobians.
Yeah, but aren't we getting a little bit too fixated on Penders? Because this whole thing's supposed to be about the mandates, yes?
No, but the narrative is that Penders caused these mandates to happen.
Yeah,
the narrative.
And they're on the same page.
Oh yeah, I do think that's fucking stupid that the mandates are on the same page as Ken Penders.
My point is, so far they haven't, the only mandate that's related to Penders at all is naming the dad Maximilian.
And also not using his characters.
Yeah, but again, this is just a bunch of random ass shit. How could you be like, oh, wow, you know, they can't use Eggman Nega anymore. Oh, God damn it, Penders! Look what you've done! I just don't see it. It's bizarre.
It's crazy.
How can you say, like, Sega they changed their minds? Like, you know what, we don't like Mobius anymore. We're not going to change it. Ding you, Penders! You took away Mobius! Penders! Like, but that's how it is, though. I see it, though. I see it all the time. Is it just people that just don't know?
I mean, it's kind of hard in the first place, even if it is true.
Again, I think it's just people just trying to spread the narrative just to make Penders look bad, and I
almost feel like they're willing to blame Penders for anything that like they go into the fridge and it's like, oh, the orange juice expired. Penders!
You say that as a joke, but there have been times where I've seen people on Twitter blame things that happened in the comic on Penders, when it's like, oh, this art looks weird. Damn you, Penders, your art sucks, and it wasn't Ken Penders.
And it wasn't even him drawing.
or this story is weird. Damn you, Penders, and it's like Carl Bowlers. It's not Penders.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even look at the credits.
Obama.
It's just when it's something they don't like, Penders. That's literally what it is.
Only one Metal Sonic permitted for appearance, but no multiples. What the
Forces.
What?
What
does that have to do with anything?
Sonic Forces was like a word because of all the Phantom Ruby clones of Metal Sonic.
That's
another mandate.
Why is that a mandate, though?
Like, they seem oddly fixated on Metal Sonic.
Okay, because the reason why is because there was a lot of different Metal Sonics throughout Archie, and one of them eventually grew into its own character. Like, the original first Metal Sonic that appeared back in issue 25 grew into his own character, Shard the Metal. So it's like, oh, just have one Metal Sonic so we don't have, like, all these different robot Sonic.
That is the most fan fiction name I've ever heard in my life.
Well, thank you, Anna. The same person came up with Scourge the Hedgehog.
Yeah, my baby.
With the exception of the character Nicole, allowing affected characters to remember the previous universe, these memories were forced to fade. Okay, that's like the only
phrase, because that would imply literally everything about the previous universe was forgotten. Well, does nobody know who Sonic is? I don't think that's the case.
No, but here's the thing, though. This kind of was broken because, like they said, Nicole remembers, but I guess she's excused because it's specified in the rule. But because when the reboot first began, their memories were all scrambled or whatever, and they had to have their memories refreshed by Nicole, who again initially remembered them. But the thing is, Sonic and Eggman didn't need their memories restored. Because I believe they were the closest to the Genesis wave going off. They remember the world without Nicole having to refresh them.
Okay.
And then there's a later character in like a Sonic Universe story, Professor von Schlemmer, I think his name is. And somehow, even though he...
Wait, wasn't that in like...
Yeah, Adventures?
Yeah.
Yeah, they, like I said, they brought Adventures characters into the reboot. But somehow, even though von Schlemmer didn't exist pre-reboot, he knows of the old universe somehow.
Okay.
But
why does that have to be a mandate, though? I don't understand.
Because we can't reference Pender's work.
God,
Penders!
Like, I want to, like, stand on, like, a cliff and just, like, dramatically, like, Penders!
Just go to the fucking cliff.
Just make that your next video. Let's go for a hike.
Penders!
Take a megaphone and scream.
That's literally what this is!
Character depictions such as Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, and Classic Eggman, or any other classic depictions of Sega's characters were not permitted unless permission was given. Boy, they're...
Yeah, here's the other thing, though, because this mandate... Because, like, they say later in here, it's like, oh, this was lifted for the 25th anniversary. But the thing is, it was basically never there to begin with. Because, again, if we focus on pre-reboot, we actually see, like, the change of classic Sonic to modern Sonic appear on page.
Yeah, classic Sonic, I think, you know what, though, I believe this is, like, Izuka just being fucking weird. Because, like, prior to Forces,
and Mania.
Classic Sonic was just seen was just seen as younger Sonic. Like, even in Generations, he was Sonic from the past, but now like, Izuka's weird. He's into this whole two Earths thing, and classic Sonic and modern are two entirely different entities.
Yeah.
I can see him fucking writing this mandate himself, but
there's another caveat to this one as well, because, like, in other versions of this list of mandates, they also say that, like, Sonic, like, Sega characters cannot be implied to have aged. But the thing is, the Sonic movie, and even, again, in the reboot, breaks that rule. Unless it's, again, under that guise of the 25th anniversary. But what's the excuse for the movie?
But I still don't see how this is all Pender's fault.
In the comics, Sally was depicted as to have in the post-reboot. She was, I think she was depicted to have trained with,
Yoda?
I think so.
Well, no, because I'm saying because in the reboot there were moments where it was like flashbacks to like younger versions of the characters, and they looked more like classic Sonic-y kind of looking.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Unless again that was lifted for the 25th anniversary.
That was before the 25th.
It doesn't make sense. And again, the movie also breaks this because again it implies that Sonic has aged because he was once a baby and now he's not a baby.
Well, the movie doesn't really break that.
Well,
they're talking
it
that classic Sonic. Well, no, the movie breaks it for a different reason, because in the credits you see classic Sonic.
Well, no. I'm not even talking about like the design, because like again, like I said, in other alternate versions of this list, they also include a thing where it says like, you know, the Sega cast of characters, the video game characters cannot be be implied to have aged to where they are now. So we cannot see like flashbacks of them as kids. The movie breaks
that one.
No,
again,
like I'm saying, that's in like a different version of the list because there are different versions of this list that exist out there.
Oh,
so in other words,
it.
Just about every version could be real or fake.
Pretty much.
But I still don't see how this is Ken Pender's fault. Like,
because we can't have Deep Rich Lore Penders!
I'm just saying, like, this is on a Ken Pender's legal case page.
It is.
So I'm wondering, how is this his fault? Like, I just don't understand. I thought the mandates were like, oh, Ken Pender's fucked up the comics. Here's how we fix them. We got to put these rules in place so it doesn't happen again. But literally,
nope.
This has nothing to do with it. This has nothing to do with his court cases. This has nothing to do with... Honestly, this just sounds like Izuka being Izuka, if I'm being completely honest. He's just a weirdo. He's just a weirdo. I don't know. He's bizarre. He comes up with weird shit all the time. Like fucking classic Sonic being a new character. I mean, this... I don't see the connection between this and Pender's at all. The only one, like I said, is the fact that he came up with the name Maximilian. We're like, oh, we can't have that. It's like, okay, whatever.
Well, that and they can't remember the old universe because that's Pender's lore.
Yeah. Sonic is not allowed to lose.
He does that.
Yep. And Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric, if that counts.
He can be put down and experience
in the movie,
hardship, but not allowed to completely fail. I think what they're trying to say is like at the end, right?
Yeah.
Like if he loses, obviously he can't lose, otherwise the comics would be over.
Like he can't lose the war, but like he can lose a battle.
Yeah, he can lose some rings. It seems like a completely like it doesn't even need to be there. Like why do we even need to have that? Yeah. Obviously, if he failed, we wouldn't have a fucking franchise.
He loses in Rome plenty of times.
I just don't understand. It says he can be put down and experience hardship. Like, okay, cool. So he gets beat by Infinite, but then he comes back and he wins in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So why does this even need to be a mandate? This kind of just goes without saying. It's like saying, in Hey Arnold, we can't have Arnold fucking get hit by a car and die because then we wouldn't have a show. It's like, well, obviously,
it makes some degree of sense though, because like, actually no, he does lose in canon in Adventure if you think about it. So there's that.
Wait, does he?
I mean,
Yeah, Eggman wanted to destroy the city, and at the end, guess what fucking happened?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. The city's destroyed. Yeah, no, you're right.
And Chaos did it, just like he planned.
Yeah, no, you're right.
At least he won the battle, but he lost that war. Main and or significant characters were forbidden forming intimate love relationships. ACP exclusive characters were permitted. Bunny and Antoine, which are not ACP exclusive again.
They are Deke/Sega. They are.
But not with Sega characters.
Like, if you're saying they can't just fuck each other like in full view of the.
Also, they say this when again, also Ian Flynn was heavily pushing Sanemi in the reboot, and even now in IDW.
Well, yeah, I mean we saw that. But again, though, this also just seems like it. There's no way there's no. Sega owns Sally. Sega's characters includes Bunny, Antoine, and Sally. ACP does not own those characters.
And Rotor.
But Tails also gets a girlfriend in Boom, and it also says main or significant characters. And in Tom, like in the movie, Tom's married.
Well, but he's not a Sega character though.
Well, it never says Sega characters; it says main or significant characters. So that could imply anything within the scope of.
Well, no, but it says here main or significant characters. Archie characters are permitted, but Sega characters aren't. So I guess exclusive characters to each individual medium are okay with this. But, like, official game canon characters, like Sonic, cannot.
I mean, it could mean that, but that still, like, leaves, like, someone like Tails, for example, in Boom, as an exception to that.
I'm still blown away by this rule, though, because it just seems wrong on every level. ACP exclusive characters? Like, an Archie character, and a straight-up Archie character would be, like, Jeffrey St. John, right? Like created for the Archie comics. He wasn't he wasn't created by Sega. He was created by someone that worked on the comics.
Yes.
So honestly, I think that Iizuka just made this rule up after he read the King's rules. He's like, "This is
oh my god."
Original Sega characters were to conform and stay conform to their modern designs. Well, they broke that in Boom. None were allowed to. Yeah, and the movie. None were allowed to change or modify their existing wardrobe or wear any different wardrobe at all. Boy, that gets broken so hard in the movie.
Hell, that gets broken all the time in Runner. Just look at that game and all the shit wear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget about Forces like Sonic Dash and Sonic Forces Speed Battle, because they have so many different costume variants for those characters as well.
Oh, just look at Smash Bros. Shouldn't be allowed in Smash Bros.
I mean, does Smash Brothers really count, though?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why it would.
It has a Sonic character in it. It
I
counts.
mean, I guess.
That's broken in the Olympics, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's broken all the goddamn time.
So again, that one's bogus.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, is Iizuka drunk?
I don't think it's Iizuka, man. I don't think it's Iizuka.
I mean, who's writing these rules then?
I mean, I have an idea.
Sega exclusive characters could not be killed off. But again, that's just what I said earlier. Like if you kill off Knuckles, then you don't have a comic. Obviously, you got it. Like, hello.
Fun fact. In one of Ian Flynn's Bumblecasts, he said he wanted to kill off Shadow, and I'm just like, how and why?
Well, so did Sega, but the fans wouldn't let him do it.
Well, I mean, that's different because
if Flynn wants to kill off Shadow, that'll be the one single decision that he makes that I'll support.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck Shadow.
Do you not like Shadow?
No, fuck Shadow.
Shadow's just the inferior version of Scourge.
Who came later?
Scourge did. That means he's better.
Whatever.
Whilst Archie exclusive characters were not mentioned in this mandate, it remains unclear whether
the rule applies to them.
I mean, why are they making? All right, just whatever.
I mean, Longclaw was originally going to die in the movie too. So,
did she not die?
Well, she may have or may not have.
I mean, in the novelization, it says she died, and in the comic book that comes with the Blu-ray, it says that Longclaw died. So
hold on, Jaron Norton in the comics. Jaron Norton says youth talk like these mandates apply to all forms of Sonic media. It says at the
said
top.
that they do.
Yeah, including but not limited to games, television, films, toys, and comics.
Yeah,
Well, I think that-
everything.
like-
Everything owned by Sega.
Because like that would make
I
sense.
give-
Because if you're making these rules, they should apply to everything. Because like who's to say a Ken Penders-esque situation wouldn't happen with a cartoon or the movie?
I
I mean, it
give
practically did.
Okay, but I will give Jaron Norton like this though. If we did frame this in the first place as the apparent source of all of this information coming from Ian Flynn, so I suppose hypothetically he could have been saying it was just for the comics. Hypothetically.
You know what? I almost wonder if Ian Flynn made these rules up for
That's
himself.
That's sort of what I was implying before. I actually had a conversation with Rafa Knight.
I almost
once.
wonder if Ian Flynn wants these to be the rules, just so he can write the stories he wants. And when people are like, why can't you make Sonic and Sally together? It's like, oh, I can't. It's Sega mandates. It's not my fault.
Yeah, but here's the other thing as well. Because I had a conversation with one of the artists, Rafa Knight, who told me that these mandates were supposedly either made by an editor or even by Ian Flynn himself. That apparently these mandates were made if other writers were to get onto the book, so that way they still write like Ian.
I know nothing about. I mean, just from reading all these mandates, and I'm getting the impression. And there's only one mandate, and it just says Sonic characters are not allowed to show emotion. Woo.
And I'm going to talk about that as well.
But I'm just saying, like, this just sounds like Ian Flynn wanting to write Sonic a specific way, and then this is like a list he came up with to cover his ass, like when fans approach him.
Like, oh, it's Sega told me.
Yeah, like fans are
that.
like, well, will you bring Black Doom? And then he's like, well, I don't have any plans for that. Like, well, you should though. And I'd be like, oh, well, I can't because these mandates.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's literally what happened with Shadow in IDW, because like, Ian Flynn goes on and on and on and on about how much creative freedom he has in IDW, so much more than he did with Archie or the reboot, even. Sega's even gone on record to say that they rule things on a case-by-case basis. But the instant he writes Shadow acting like a fucking idiot and getting roboticized or infected or whatever, and people don't like it and see that as out of character, it's like, oh, well, Sega wanted me to do it that way. That's bullshit.
Like the Mason Gamer, actually am curious about what they're saying here. They say, what about Izuka's statements about what's true or what's not? Like, has Izuka made any actual statements? Is there anything from Sega? No,
this is the first I'm hearing about this. What the hell is he talking about?
No clue. I'm just reading what I'm seeing.
Fair.
Anyway,
because if there's anything official from Sega,
I don't know. Just from what my impression by actually reading these rules and everything that we just saw, and if these mandates are from Ian Flynn's forums, I almost wonder if this is just him covering his ass in terms
when he does something shitty.
When he does something he wants to do and people disagree or they criticize him for it. It's like this is just his way of covering his ass. Like
he really can't take criticism.
Like Ian Flynn himself is like, well, I don't like Mobius. I don't like that because it's not like how I think Sonic should be. So I'm gonna create a mandate that Sega doesn't really seem to give a shit about, but I'm gonna create it and say that they told me I can't call it Mobius anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mason, if you can link Izuka saying any of that, that'd be like.
I mean,
great.
unless we've seen some of these do sound like Izuka. Like, I believe Izuka is really anal about how classic Sonic and are treated. I believe that.
Also,
but that doesn't mean that he isn't creating these mandates based off of things that actually exist either, though.
Right, but also going back to the Sonic characters can't show excessive emotion. We see an example of that censorship being shown there.
So that's a Penders page, and that's a what? Like, what happened?
No,
what is this?
No, that's not a Penders page. That's actually a Ian Flynn, Tracy Yardley page. Because Ian Flynn wanted Sonic to freaking bawl his eyes out because his future was taken from him, and he basically lost his marriage and his kids with Sally in the future.
Okay, wait, I thought that... So, wait, Ian Flynn wanted Sonic to cry?
Yes.
And then these so-called mandates...
And then these so-called mandates stopped it.
But I thought the mandates were, like, to fix Ken Penders. What? I'm confused.
But then again, you gotta... Okay, well, the thing is, this picture here is pre-reboot. This is before the reboot.
Okay, so are the mandates to fix Ken Penders' mistakes or Ian Flynn's mistakes?
I'm pretty sure they're to fix Ken's mistakes, I think. But hold on, the thing I wanted to get to is I believe the Sonic crying rule is true, not only because of that, but there's apparently a story about Sonic SatAM. Jesse, do you remember the episode where they first introduced Uncle Chuck?
Yes.
Vaguely, yeah.
The one with like the Dinobot and the giant crystal or whatever.
Yes.
The point is, at the end of that episode, Sonic cries, and it's apparently been a long-standing rumor that Sega saw that scene of Sonic crying in that episode, and they didn't like it because they don't like the idea of Sonic crying, apparently. So, throughout the rest of SatAM, you never see Sonic cry like that. You never see an emotional scene like that coming from Sonic.
I mean, we do see Sonic cry in Boom, albeit for comedic effect.
Yeah, but I feel like that's different because it's for a joke and not like hot drama.
Yeah.
While he doesn't necessarily cry like that, I feel like he is more expressive in his emotions than he is in the current games.
Doesn't he also get like pretty upset and moody in the movie? Like, I don't think he cries, but he does get pretty upset.
Yeah. Like,
and then also in Sonic Underground, doesn't like Baby Sonic cry in like the first episode?
No, they cry. Yeah.
But all of that would have been way before these mandates, though, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's the story regarding SatAM, because so many people like to claim, like, oh, Sonic doesn't cry for the rest of SatAM because they saw him cry about Uncle Chuck in that episode and stomped it out.
To be fair, Sonic doesn't have a reason to cry after that.
Fair.
When did this crying comic come out? What year?
Oh, wait,
was
he doesn't have a reason to cry after that? What about when he
That's right when Ian Flynn started. That's right when he started.
Mm-hmm. It's 6 issues after he got on.
So do you think that Yardley drew Sonic crying really hard and Flynn was like, we gotta take this out? You can't have Sonic crying like that.
Probably.
Oh, poor Yardley. You know what? Pause real quick. Yardley is a great artist. Hats off to him. I love Tracy Yardley. You do great work, man. Thank you.
Yardley's fucking watching this.
I personally think Yardley's overrated. Like, he's probably
Who gives a shit? What does that have to do with Ken Penders and these mandates?
I said pause real quick because I wanted to give props to him. Look at how much
Pixie, go masturbate off stream, for God's sake.
Look at how much emotion he's showing with Sonic here.
Who cares?
I mean, I don't give a shit if Sonic cries or not. I don't see why this is a big deal, and
we're getting way too off track.
I just don't understand.
Let's put it back. Why is this a Penders thing?
Yeah, I don't understand how people look at this and go, Penders! Look what you've done! But it's on here, though. It's on this page. Do people look at this and say, like, this is all Penders' fault? Sonic can't have emotion anymore. Penders!
Penders!
This is literally Ian Flynn making him have that emotion, and Sega telling him that he can't. I don't know. This, again, it all seems like they're trying to find every possible way to blame Penders for everything.
Yeah, and to make Flynn look like the pretty much.
Honestly, one thing I'm questioning about this list is more of what it doesn't say than what it does say. Like, there's nothing like, hey, you can't have characters, like, stabbing each other or excessive gore. There's nothing saying, like, you can't have these characters being, like, sex offenders.
That's a given, I would feel. Also,
well, yeah, but I feel like lots of these are given.
Also, now that we're done looking at the list, I want us to look at the image I sent.
Well, it also says... While some mandates may be incomplete, other mandates and rules between Archie and Sega may have existed but remain undisclosed due to general public.
And that's what I was talking about before, because like there's different versions of the list that exist out there. I've seen them.
Some mandates by Sega may have also been present before the advent of Pender's legal cases.
Which is why I bring up the whole Sonic crying thing.
But again, like, well, I just don't understand. None of these mandates at all feel like they're trying to fix
like
Penders.
Yeah, outside of like 3.
I mean, one specific mandate is quite literally directly the result of Ian Flynn. The crying one, right? I mean, technically, if that's a mandate that it always existed, if you're saying it happened with
it happened with Sad AM, supposedly.
But to blame Ken Penders for all this, I just don't understand. It's like they want someone to blame.
But yeah, hold on, because if you really want to see how bogus these mandates are, I will show the image on stream that I sent you. This is a meme that a friend of mine just of things debunking. Some of the mandates.
Is it long? Come on.
It's not long. I just want you to like glance at it.
Right.
Like you can just read through them.
The mandates killed Archie Sonic. Use Ken Pender's characters or any of his content pre-Super Genesis Wave are forbidden. Of all the mandates,
looks like basically you've already said that.
Captain Metal, I have no idea who the fuck that is. I don't know who that is.
It's basically a Metal Sonic that was repurposed.
Oh, only one Metal Sonic is permitted, but no multiples, and then boom, there's a couple. Saga specific original characters are not permitted familiar relationships, and yet there's fuck? Eclipse the Darkling? Who the fuck is that?
Okay, so you have Black Doom. He created a child called Black Death, and then Black Death created Eclipse, and Eclipse's shadows, quote unquote.
Oh wait, hold on. Are these Ken Penders or Ian Flynn characters?
Ian Flynn characters.
Oh my god.
Yep.
And yet everyone says Ken Penders makes the worst Sonic spin-off characters. And then we have this fucking shit. What the fuck is this? Oh no, shit.
Me.
You like that?
I said they're all trash.
Oh.
I'm not sure how that equates.
Well, you cut out, so I didn't hear it.
Okay.
I don't know who any of these humans are. Is that Chris Thorndyke's fucking lesbian aunt? I don't know.
The girl to the right is apparently related to the Gun Command. Have a picture of, and then you have a picture of Wendy Witchcart, who is a character from Tails Sky Patrol, and apparently she's now Nogus's sister.
Okay. Nogus from Sad AM.
Yeah, and because Wendy Witchcart is a Sega character, and now she's related to Nogus, who supposedly isn't a Sega character.
Okay,
Cross is right. Every Sonic character is trash.
So basically this whole meme image here is to prove that the mandates are being broken constantly.
Yes, and that they are bogus.
So then why are they here? And why is it somehow Ken Pender's fault?
Because that's the narrative. That's the simple answer.
So basically when someone just like reach out like, why is Sonic just always happy all the time? Someone can chime in and say, well, you see, it was Ken Pender's fault, blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of perpetuates that.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what I think?
Is there just alright, what is the fetish for hating Ken Penders? Like
to make Ian Flynn look better.
Yeah, but like, does jacking off to hating Ken Penders feel that fucking good?
Surely it must be, because
but to go
really.
through all this and to push this huge narrative and write this whole article with this complete bias, which was completely obvious, by the way, and like just like, why though? Like, who does this help? Who does this help?
It's not that great to jack off to Ken Penders, in all honesty.
But how is this helping anybody anywhere? Is this getting is this getting Sally back in the games? Like, I don't know. Like, who does this help?
Sally will never get in the fucking game.
It helps. I'm about to prove that eventually. I'm gonna disprove that.
And then here's all the characters that were removed.
But anyways,
what?
Again, I feel like the reason why this is, and most people is like, oh, they're just hating on Ian Flynn. I feel like this, like they do this again to make Ian Flynn look better by comparison, because compared to Ken Penders, Ian Flynn's done marginally less damage than Penders.
What the fuck? Mina Mongoose marries Tails and has a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my!
know
Wait,
that?
who wrote that? Penders or Flynn?
Okay, well, okay, hold on, no, hold on. Regarding the Tails and Mina thing, because, like, Penders did not plan for Tails to be really with anyone, so the artist it's like, okay, Tails and Mina, why not? If you ask Penders, he did not ship them together.
Okay, so...
But if anything, Flynn took that ship further with his future stuff.
Oh my god, that's
I don't know one way or the other.
That is so cringe, dude.
We'll blame Ian.
That is so cringe.
This is probably going to sound very propaganda-y for me, but people need to stop blaming Penders and blaming the true culprit here, Ian.
I think all of them are pieces of shit.
You're right. I actually agree with you. That did sound very propaganda-y of you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Permanent removal, not whole. Silver characters are not made by Penders. Oh, so this is just a list of characters that were removed anyway by other creators.
By other creators that are suspected of, not... there's actually a really funny story, at least regarding one of the characters that wasn't created by Penders, Fiona Fox. Because people want to know who owns Fiona.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to Michael Gallagher, and from what Michael Gallagher told me, he does not claim ownership to Fiona or any of his characters that he created, which include Athair, the 40 Fathom Freedom Fighters, among other characters.
Can I copyright Fiona?
I mean,
try.
Maybe,
Yes!
Because here's the thing.
Ken Penders don't want her, right?
Well,
probably denied because you never actually did anything with her.
Because Penders has actually come out and said, he's like, even though he reintroduced Fiona in his stories, like the not robot one, he does not consider Fiona as his character. He considers Michael Gallagher to be the father of Fiona Fox.
This is the most fetishy looking character I've ever.
But then again, Michael Gallagher practically disowns all of his Sonic characters.
Fiona looks like she was created just for Sonic porn. I'm not even lying.
What image are you looking at?
The one on the wiki. It's just her in like a leather thing, and she's like looking all sassy.
I agree with Boyd, and Rouge isn't.
Fair.
Rouge was made specifically for my porn, so that's okay.
Yeah, but Rouge is canon though. She's Sega official, so she gets a pass.
Okay, so here's okay. We're at the end of this whole page now, and here's kind of my overall opinion. I honestly, you might not like what I have to say, but I honestly don't give a shit what Archie does. If they want to take out all of his characters or whatever, I don't give a shit. They want to do that, that's fine. But I guess where I kind of am disappointed is how people found a way to find all the things that they don't like about modern era Sonic, even outside the comics, and find a way to somehow blame that on Penders in some form or another. That to me is just like, it's like, oh, well, Sonic can't cry and blah, 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 blah.
That's the power of cancel culture.
But it's like they're taking things that like have nothing to do with him whatsoever. Like, oh, we can't have Black Doom come back. No, Penders! I don't understand like how people can tie this whole thing, all this, to one man. Like he's like just the ultimate fucking Sonic villain, more powerful than the Time Eater and Solaris.
But yeah, you know who honestly, if anyone, I think should be blamed for these mandates, assuming that they're real? The person who's actually like getting involved with every single artist and fucking rubbing her coochie all over them. Pixie, you motherfucker, you are responsible for all of this. I'm calling you out. This is all you. You
made a mistake because you just stated that Pixie has a vagina, which we all know she doesn't. She is a living Fuda.
You found out my secret plot.
Oh no!
But you know what? Though, at the same time,
secrets.
I'm gonna say this. I think this is unrelated to this stream, but I have other streams where I look at Ian Flynn, and I do think Ian Flynn is a pretty cringy dude. I think a lot of his writing is cringy, his characters are cringy, a lot of his ideas are cringy, but you know what? In all fairness, there are Pender's cringy stuff. There are Ben Hurst cringy stuff. There's fucking Pontek.
There's Shiro Make
There's Pontek and Graf cringy stuff.
I feel like people often confuse cringe with cheese, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not confused. I'm saying
that's
that
how you sleep at night.
I'm saying I think a lot of stuff, regardless of who the writer is, has come off as cringe throughout Sonic's history. But what I don't think is that one guy did everything wrong and then another guy did everything right. Because that is just ridiculous to think.
Well, that's the narrative.
Pretty much, yeah.
It literally comes down to basic caveman brain. Flynn good, Pender bad.
Literally, like, Izuka has created a lot of cringe. Yuji Naka created a lot of cringe. Pretty much all the major names throughout Sonic's history have come up with some good ideas and a couple of stinkers. So you know what? I personally, I think. Listen, I think a lot of Ken Pender's Echidna shit is pretty cringe. I'm not gonna lie, but I think Scourge is also equally as cringe, and a lot of the other Ian Flynn ideas. A lot of them. I've got plenty of streams on it. I've looked at a lot of his stuff, and a lot of that stuff is cringe.
To be fair, even though Scourge is my son, he is pretty cringe.
And like
Sonic
at least
Boom
none of this
writing.
is as bad as like Sonic being a fucking World War II pilot's ghost or anything like that. It's gotten a lot worse than anything that anyone involved in the Archie comics has come up with.
Yeah, there's always worse.
I almost feel like these mandates were just a way. If these mandates are fan fabricated or even Inflin fabricated, I don't know, but it really honestly feels like that they were made to describe what was being seen currently. Like, I don't know, maybe Sonic, it was like, wow, you know, someone made a tweet like, oh wow, Sonic's just fucking perfect now, isn't he? He's just invincible and never loses. Someone replies and says, well, you see, there, you know, fucking Ken Penders and his lawsuits went around suing everybody, and then they made a mandate, and now it has to be that way. And then that somehow became such an urban legend that it somehow made it into this list of mandates where they're like, well, yeah, it's Sega said they can't because of the Ken Penders lawsuits, blah, 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 blah.
Well, the first rule of being a conspiracy theorist is correlation equals confirmation, and the lawsuit just happened to be at a time when these changes were happening, so of course people are going to assume it's him.
Which is unfortunate because, people should at least have some like critical thinking beyond, oh, this happened, so that must mean this.
You know what? If I think, here's what I think should have happened. What I think should have happened is, the Archie, they want to do the reboot, that's fine. What they can do is they split the world, they do like a split, and then all the Pender storylines and whatever go to Universe B, and then all the main characters like Sonic and whatever, they go to Universe A, and then what happens is Archie just kind of doesn't do anything with Universe B, they're just like, all right, well, we're gonna, it exists, but we're gonna go over here to Universe A, and that we're gonna go over there now. And then, you know what, if Penders wants to make Laura Sue Chronicles and that be in Universe B, Why the fuck not? Like, do we really need all this fucking BS, this mandates and these court cases and shit? Like, I don't have a problem with Ken Penders continuing his stories and his characters, and I don't have a problem with Archie rebooting. And I also don't have
like the lies.
what I don't like is how people have formed a urban legend in the Sonic fandom where somehow everything that we don't like that is wrong with Sonic nowadays is somehow Ken Pender's fault. It's some way you can trace it back to somehow being Ken Pender's.
It's like the bacon number game, except it's like the degrees of Penders.
Well, shit, Pixie has COVID-19 now.
Wash your hands, everyone, please.
And your buttholes.
Just watch everything.
I mean, if you can beat his ass out, yeah.
All right, Pixie's drunk.
All right, don't die, Pixie.
Pixie's drunk. Pixie's drunk.
Yay.
But I don't know. I honestly, these mandates are cringe. They are. I know I've said the word cringe a lot, but like
they're bogus, is what they are.
Yeah, I don't really. Some of them do sound like Azuka.
I believe some are.
Some of them sound like Azuka.
I believe that Sega has rules on their like that's a no shit thing, but like I feel like a lot of these, if not all of them, can be debunked or disproven in one way or another.
Couldn't literally anyone write a rule that would sound like it came from Azuka though?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
I'm done with all this. This is giving me a headache. Why the fuck are we talking about this? Who the fuck cares about these stupid ass mandates?
Well, clearly,
we're doing talk for hours about it.
Only 82 people in the stream right now, Pixie.
Hi, 82 people.
And clearly, the people on the internet who keep claiming that these are because of Ken Penders, clearly they care.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say not everyone's going to care a super lot, though. At the end of the day, this is all trivial shit. It's not like
it really is, but I'm personally sick of just seeing like it's always Ken Penders when
but
it's something.
This is a commentary on the community though, because if you go on Twitter, you're gonna see someone say, why can't Sonic and Sally be together? I watched that growing up and I want that, blah, blah, blah. And then there's always going to be that guy like, well, you see, Ken Penders, he fucking shoot Archie, and now he has all of his characters, and now they can't use them.
Fucking fan fiction, who cares?
Yeah, honestly,
Honestly, the thing that pisses me off is that people care too fucking much about this shit. And Slim's an asshole for allegedly making this list.
Yeah, like a bunch of people wanted Half-Life 3, but like no one's losing their shit over.
But you know, Pixie, coming into the stream, you said I hate Ken Penders, and the reason why you did.
I hate everybody. I hate all of you. I hate the chat. I hate IDW. Wow. I hate Archie. I hate Sega. I hate everything.
Okay, very good.
Of you.
But
wait, Pixie, you gotta specify which races do you hate. Give me some sound clips.
I hate all races. I hate white.
Oh my god!
All right, who cares? Pixie,
people.
Shut up for God's sake!
Stop immediately. Cease all actions.
God.
It's okay. I'll give you the N-word pass. Let's go.
The chat hates me too. Yeah, fuck you guys.
Oh God. Anyway, Jesse,
alienate everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, are we getting to the point of like closing statements?
So, how does this relate to Rally of Sally? What is Rally of Sally? Rally for Sally. What is that?
Okay. Rally for Sally is basically a campaign to get Sally Acorn into the mobile games Sonic Forces Speed Battle and Sonic Dash. It basically started when, they revealed that Tangle and Whisper were in those games when they've barely only existed for a little under 3 years. Whereas, like, Sally and the Freedom Fighters have existed for 3 decades. And every other time we've tried to get these characters in the games has been either ignored, denied, or they were going to do it and it got canceled.
I mean, to be 100% fair, though, if you were to compare like their ages, Sally did get into a few games just early on,
Spinball.
shortly after her inception. Yeah,
One.
so okay, a few. Oh, wasn't she also though in Doctor? No, that was different.
No, that was Adventures.
That was Adventure. Right. Okay. Either way, she did get into one game at the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, people want her to be playable, though. And if IDW characters can get that for literally being nothing special, of course the Archie fans and the Sad AM fans who have begged for official representation for, again, nearly 3 decades, about 27 years of Archie existing, wouldn't you say that's kind of unfair that these newbies get to get in only 3 years?
Not really, if the game itself is also fairly new. You can make the argument for Sonic Dash, but not
the game isn't new.
Well, I said fairly new. I mean, because if we were to compare when Sally got into a game to when, compare when Sally was created to the time when she was actually put in the game, and the time that Tangle and Whisper were created to the time they got into a game, it's not too different of a gap.
I mean, but again, the difference here is Sally appearing in Spinball is a split-second cameo. Tangle and Whisper appearing in those games are fully playable with their own moves and everything.
Yeah,
I think they should be in the game.
Shit.
You know what?
There weren't too many playable characters originally before in the first
plus, if Sega owns them, why can't she be in a game?
I think they should be in it. I think they should. I think there's no good reason for them not to be in it.
Okay, but I want to clarify because I know there's going to be people. Oh, hold on. I want to clarify something because I know people are going to. There are going to be people who are going to jump down my throat about this, but so I need to make this clear. This is not a campaign to try and get the Freedom Fighters to become canon in the next mainline game or however many mainline games in the future. This is literally only for the mobile games.
Speed Battle
and Dash. This is all this is for, because I know there's going to be some asshole who takes my words out of context and it's like, oh, you're just trying to get the Freedom Fighters in the games like all these other failed attempts. No, that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, honestly, it really doesn't feel like it's that much effort on Sega's part. Just import the model and
just make a model and put it in the game.
Yeah,
that much effort.
Why not?
If you can reference the OVA now of all things, why can't you reference Sally or
Noibrock on Twitter has a good Sally model. He does. He does great renders and shit. But fucking Tangle and shit. Fuck those characters that got into the game except for Sally. I want an officially licensed
Pixie is drunk.
Pixie, are you drunk?
Pixie is drunk.
Sally! I want porn Sally. Give me...
Okay,
Anyway, if you guys want to know more about Rally, if you guys want to know more about Rally for Sally, I did an interview on a friend's channel, Melantart VA. So if you want to know more about the campaign, go there.
I mean, I say that it would be comparable to Cosmo, for example. If a character is already in a series that's been completely axed in the first place, I can still sort of see them decide to just say,
yeah, but you know what though? True, I think
there's no reason not to just make people happy if they wanted, but at the same time, there's no reason to just specific.
Yeah, but true. Sally is a character that's been part of the Sonic franchise for over 20-something years
since its inception. Because the name Sally Acorn also originates from the Sonic Bible.
Yeah, literally, this is a character that. I mean, you could argue existed as long as almost Sonic has, and
yes,
the fact that they're making this game, this fan game, or not fan game, but a side game that literally all it is just putting the models in the game. Water. Yeah, there's no reason that we can't. What?
Though I don't think Sally was in the Japanese canon in the first place.
Who
so
gives
I don't
a
think
shit?
That's irrelevant.
Who gives a shit?
Neither are Tangled.
Japanese canon.
Guys,
Neither.
I
guys,
Okay,
stop
Sally
interrupting me.
porn.
God
Real
damn
quick.
it.
Give me Sally official.
Can you
license
chill out,
Sally
Pixie?
porn.
Guys, let me
Pixie.
just say what I was going
Oh my
to say,
God.
so I can actually. Because if you don't let me finish my sentence, it's not going to make sense. But what I was going to say is the thing is, at the time, it's like essentially there were basically two different Sonics, and one of which was almost barely recognized by Sega Japan. They were competing at the time, but nowadays these things aren't competing, so they're in different circumstances.
Yeah, but
which is why I bring up that it wasn't acknowledged by Japan at first, because I know that
but Tangle and
like,
Whisper aren't like in the Japanese canon either. They're comic as well. They're more comic exclusive than Sally is, because she wasn't even comic exclusive.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say still, like, isn't about necessarily if they're comic exclusive. It's about if they're competing particularly with what the dominant, like, Japanese corporation want. And nowadays, Tangle and Whisper really aren't. And at the time, like, Sally was a representation of something that was.
In all seriousness, I
No,
see what
I don't see that as a
saying.
good criticism as to why she shouldn't be in it, though. I don't see that as a.
Why?
I don't
But I'm
see it.
saying
I
that's
don't
why
see it as
they
good.
might
I
not do
think that's just how it is. Fucking
Yeah, what Pixie saying?
Japanese fucking Sega
Yeah, but
hates
Japanese
American shit.
Hard Light is literally a European studio.
It's a
Sega
UK
Europe.
company. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's not
fuck
Sega
them.
Japan.
Fuck all of
That's
them.
not even Sega of America either. So there's
Fuck
nothing about
them.
Sega versus
Fuck
America. like
everybody.
America
I
versus-
want Sally porn.
God,
Oh my god, can you stop, please?
Jesus.
Never.
Pixie
Anyways.
dust, everyone.
Anyways, are we getting close to closing statements?
yeah,
gonna-
go for it. Plug anything you want.
All right, so if you want to see my amateur voice acting, please subscribe to my girlfriend MC Gemstone. I love. Okay, hold on, wait. Frog. Just I should be back in 15 minutes. Like, dude, we're done. We're out. We're outie, dude.
Where's MC Gemstone? I can't find it.
Okay,
What-
it's
my girlfriend?
MC dot Gemstone. If you want to look for her, if you want to see my, if you want to see, yeah, if you want to see my amateur voice acting, mostly me as Sonic, subscribe to her. She
Oh.
is lovely. She
I
means the
found
world
you.
to me. Yeah. So if you want to see that, subscribe to her. If you want to see my amateur writing skills, I suggest you follow my webcomic Twitter for Sonic the Hedgehog Missing Links, which is my alternative continuation of the Archie Sonic comics, following the plans left behind by writers Ken Penders and Carl Bowlers.
If you want to see my cock, follow me on my OnlyFans.
God, stop.
If you want to see my Sonic porn, follow my Twitter. I put it in the
Literally
chat.
nobody
Oh
wants to
my
see
God.
any of that, but
I
okay.
picked up-
Oh my god.
See,
Yeah.
advocate for Sally porn. I want hardcore
no.
I'm sorry, I got
BDSM Sally
riled
Jesus
porn.
Christ, what is wrong with you
Okay, let's go
people?
on.
Please.
Okay, Sega Hardlight, if you see me in this stream, I apologize profusely. I do not support Pixie's views on
Well,
Sally
I
porn.
don't. Well, I don't apologize. Fuck you guys. I want Sally porn.
God, what is wrong with this woman?
Oh my god! What the hell is
Sega
happening?
Hardlight. Sega Hardlight.
Don't kick me.
Oh my god.
You know,
No,
Sega
boy.
Hardlight is gonna watch the stream.
Fuck
They're-
you.
They're gonna watch the stream. They're gonna get all the way to the end, and they're gonna hear you say that. And be like, oh, you know what? We're not gonna put Sally in the game now because of what Pixie said.
Pixie.
And then you know what it'll do? You know what people do? They'll go on Twitter and they'll be like, Penders!
Goodness.
Or no, they'll go up to me. It's like, way to go, Hedgehog. You fucked it up by joining that stream. It's like, I didn't know.
You didn't know that I was advocating for Sally porn.
Don't worry,
Okay,
nobody,
can you stop saying
nobody,
it, please?
nobody from Sega
Never.
will ever watch anything that I make. So you're fine.
I really hope so.
They
Yeah.
won't. They won't.
Yeah. They can't
Because I dare criticize them.
Jesse's voice.
But yeah, as I said, if you want to see my voice acting, friend MC.gemstone. If you want to see my comic, go to Twitter at Sonic_ML. And
You can also find it on palcomics.com.
no.
Oh wait, what happened to your Twitter? Why is it like locked?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I was sharing like something for another campaign, working on something on for Sonic. And I was sharing this art piece around with other artist friends of mine to sort of see if they'd be interested in also contributing art for this campaign. You know, hopefully get it to a similar Sally. But apparently Twitter suspected unusual activity coming from my account. So they locked me out.
Yeah.
And they're basically demanding that I change my password to verify I am who I am. The thing is, I can't do that because my Twitter is linked to an email and a phone number that I no longer have access to. So they're going to be sending confirmation codes to things I don't have access to.
Huh.
And I've been trying my damnedest to get a hold of Twitter support, and they are literally inept. They're literally not helping with shit.
Well, I mean, Twitter sucks. I mean, let's just be real.
Fair. Part of me wants to have like a joke campaign where it's like #help Hedgefox, but that probably won't go anywhere.
I mean, it'll go in the trash.
Yeah, it'll go there in the trash.
But yeah, I do think Rally for Sally is a good thing. I do think that she should be shown some respect and put in the games, in the side games. Let me just clarify that.
Okay, so a friend of mine just DM'd me. They're saying they want me to plug their campaign too, because they're also trying to get a character into the mobile games. The Save Cosmo, because they're trying to get Cosmo into the mobile games as well, because they're seeing the success from Rally for Sally. So they're saying it's like, oh hey, if this can get attention, maybe Cosmo has a chance too. So
now that one, I don't. I'm just kidding. You know what? I say put them all in. Put them all in there. I don't care.
Like if Sega owns the rights to these spin-offs, why can't they use them?
Yeah, it's not like she's a Pender's character. It's not like Sally's a Pender's character. Just use them.
Yeah.
If they're not this, like TMS is owned by Sega anyway, so like they literally own Cosmo.
Mm-hmm. And they also own Sally, which was
Sally.
Again.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what's the issue?
Yeah, put them in.
I actually agree. Did you know that Nintendo actually owns the rights to a Super Mario Brothers porno? Why don't we see porno Mario and Smash?
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
Jesse, who are your co-hosts?
Hi, my name is Pixie Dust. I'm known for my horny nature.
You're not actually known by anybody.
12-inch, 12-centimeter blue magic cock.
Jesus Christ.
Jesse, let's end it here before.
Hey man, like 80 viewers. You know what I mean? This is what they want. This is what the people want, man.
YouTube terms of service strikes us down for her yelling about.
We're not allowed to joke. Yes, jokes are banned by YouTube.
Porn.
Oh, fucking god.
Even if they're really terrible ones, like Pixie said.
You guys, any Sally porn, please send it to me.
The stream started.
You know what? How about this, Pixie?
Pixie,
go and follow Joykill on Twitter and ask him to do Sally porn. How about that? There you go. You get what you want.
I'll tell him that you sent me.
Yes, tell him I sent you. And with that,
okay, guys, send Sally porn to that Twitter ad, please.
I mean, to be fair, Alex, while Pixie is being kind of, fucking annoying, at the same time, you should have known what you signed up for with this podcast.
Also,
I mean, I was under the assumption it was just going to be Jesse, you, and Prague, but Prague couldn't even be fucked to show up.
Prague coming right as I end it.
How dare he have a job?
But where are you at, boy?
Everyone block that Twitter handle. Pixie My Fickle. Everyone block that Twitter handle.
There you are, right as we're ending.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Later.
Hey, Prague, what do you think about the Sega mandates?
Oh my god, Prague.
I just got off work.
What do you think about the Sega mandates, Prague?
I thought you guys did terrible.
Lovely.
Well, I only watched like the last 10 minutes.
Oh, that's like 9 minutes more than most people watch.
The
So
last 10 minutes where everything went to shit.
the last 10 minutes
The
was
last 10
just
minutes
Pixie
was all
saying
that
she
we
wants porn.
Lovely.
Anyways,
Are we still going or is it over?
We're still live, but I'm about to end it in 3, 2.
2, 1.
Bye, everybody.